opportunity to go up 3-1 if they can win again here at the Capitol Center. We'll be ready for the opening face-off right after these messages.
Come on, one more.
No.
The championship of the entire civilized world.
I'll pass.
And a Michelob Light.
I'll serve.
Michelob Light for the winner.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer?
Michelob Light for the winner.
It is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
I thought you were tired.
Nope, just thirsty.
Michelob Light.
I need it tomorrow. I don't care what it costs.
I need it tomorrow.
Business people under pressure to get urgent packages fast.
I don't care what it costs.
Often act without thinking.
I need it tomorrow.
But now, UPS Next Day Air gets it here in the morning for about half the cost. Just think, up to 50% less than the competition.
Sure, I need it tomorrow, but I do care what it costs. Send it UPS Next Day Air.
UPS Next Day Air. We save you money from the ground up. Now with morning delivery.
Today, there's a new power on the road. The first Nissan 300ZX. 3 liters of fuel-injected turbo-thrusted V6 motion. 200 horses strong. The all-new Nissan 300ZX. It'll snap you from 0 to awesome.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Back at the Capitol Center, the two teams out on the ice getting ready for this Game 4. Elsewhere, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight. Last night at Montreal, the Canadiens outshot the Quebec Nordiques, checked them into the ice. They win that hockey game by a score of 2-1, and they'll meet again tonight with Montreal leading in the series. In the Norris division, the St. Louis Blues defeated the Minnesota North Stars 3-1 at St. Louis. So the Blues on home ice with an opportunity to go ahead 3-1 in that series. And at Calgary last night, it was Edmonton 3, the Calgary Flames 2. Edmonton has taken a 2-1 lead in that best-of-7 series. The series continuing tonight at the new Saddle Dome in Calgary.
Preliminary reports, Jiggs, just on the injuries to Islanders. John Tonelli and Bob Bourne are now upgraded to a day-to-day basis. Dave Langevin, on the other hand, injured last night in the game. Dave Langevin, his is in a 3 to 4 week category, his injury.
Well, at least there is a little bit of good news. John Tonelli and Bob Bourne both indicated this morning that they're ready to play. They were to be examined by the doctor prior to the game tonight. And it is possible that they might play as early as Wednesday in Game 5 of the series. To this point, the Islanders have outscored Washington 10-8, but have been outshot 95-59 in the first 3 games. Game 5 is at the Nassau Coliseum on Wednesday night. And at this moment, a crowd of 18,130 trying to rev up the Washington Capitals to get a tie in this series. The Caps have played well, but haven't been able to beat Bill Smith, and that's been the story to this point. Now this crowd continuing to set up the chant. Public address system trying to get their attention. It'll be a little while. They have found a loyal supporting group here in the nation's capital. And we'll review some of the history of this team on the first intermission tonight. But now Mr. Glenn Cunningham is being introduced to the crowd. He is the soloist at the Capitol Center. And now our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now the officials for tonight's game. It goes to the hands of referee Dave Newell. He refereed Game 5 of the Islander Ranger Series. There he is at center ice. He's joined tonight by Randy Bitton and Ray Scapanello as the two linesmen. In goal for the New York Islanders, 33-year-old Billy Smith has a playoff record of 5 wins, 3 losses. His goals against at 2.57. He faces the Capitals, or has faced them, I should say, in each game in the series. And Pat Riggin has a 1.95 goals against average. The Islanders have scored only 3 goals on Riggin, but have beaten he and the Capitals twice. Poffan out on the left side of the Islander defense and stumped the puck in following the draw. It's picked up by Stevens. Gillies into forecheck, joined now by Dwayne Sutter. It's up the left side. Duchesne fires it wide of Smith. Francis getting it on the right wing. Bumps into Poffan. Goring trying to knock it away from Curry. Duchesne there as well. Some pushing going on. The puck came loose momentarily. Francis Getty upended. Play goes on. Dwayne Sutter drops it back to Pearson. Out to Goring. It's up in his equipment. And Goring just does one of those flamingo routines to make sure that the puck stays up the pant leg.
It hit him on the back of the leg, Jiggs, and deflected up underneath his hockey pants. Those short pants that the grown men wear, we often get teased about. Take a look. Francis Getty right here took a dive. Dave Newell saw it. Some people think that that should be a penalty to Francis Getty on the play. In football, they're now calling penalties for such incidents.
Showboating?
Is that what they call it?
Well, it's a little sack dance that Mark Gastineau made popular with the Jets, that is.
Well, that, along with, you know, when the kicker, when he's not touched and takes a dive, much like you saw Francis Getty do a moment ago, in football, that's assessed as a penalty. They may start doing that in hockey because more and more we're seeing it. Players deliberately diving around on the ice trying to draw a penalty on the player next to them.
Al Arbor and Dave Newell exchanged some words at the Islander bench. It has to do with the Islander player changes. Ryan Murray, you see his reaction at the Washington bench. Goring on the face-off against Jarvis, and the puck went back to Morrow. Now to Janssen, right back to Morrow. Tries the right wing. Wayne Sutter fires it into the Washington zone. It's picked up by Laughlin. Out to Jarvis. Jarvis and Sampson move up. 3 men back for the Islanders, so Jarvis elected to dump it in. Sampson goes in after it. Beat Stevens at the left point. Into Sampson, couldn't get a stick on it. Jarvis does, gave it to Laughlin, and Janssen stepped into him. Bill Smith plays it around to the right wing. Stevenson off the point, gave it to Laughlin. Back of the net now to Sampson, unable to center as it was cut off by Janssen, and Goring has cleared it for Nystrom. A little trouble picking it up, then dumped it outside the blue line. The Caps regain control. This is Stevens. Now to Shand. Shand over the line, poke checked away by Janssen, and Helene comes down left wing. That's Helene with a shot. Stick save by Riggin. The puck ends up in the left wing, and Haworth takes a hit from Nystrom. Laughlin picks up the puck at center. Fires one off Poffan way up into the seats.
Game starts in, Jiggs, where the one last night left off. That's Craig Laughlin. Heads back to the bench. The hitting is still there. The Islanders and the Washington Capitals. That's Nystrom on Haworth. And throughout the night, Haworth will hand out enough of his own. Give and take situation. Important, Jiggs, that the Washington Capitals really do not change their game plan. The way they played, they've been successful. They just haven't scored the goals when they've had the opportunities. They better do that tonight, because if the Islanders get a 3-game-to-1 advantage on them, it would not be easy for Washington then to come close or get back into it.
Langway off the left point, shot the puck wide of the net, and Poffan reaches, unable to clear it out. Francis Getty dumps it back of the net. It'll be picked up by Pearson. Pearson up to Bossy, picked up by Trottier, that he was unable to control it. Francis Getty comes down the right side, slammed into the hit check from Poffan. Bossy deals it off for Pearson. He's checked by Curry. In front to Francis Getty, and Smith made the save, and there'll be a penalty call coming up as Caller dumps the puck out into center ice. A tripping penalty will set up the first power play of the night for the Washington Capitals as Potvin goes off. We'll return to the Capitol Center right after these messages.
For everybody who's been making do and doing without, the Bank of New York has the Goodbye Loan.
Goodbye, old clunker.
Besides auto loans,
Goodbye, Dockside Blues.
we've got loans for boats and home improvement loans. So say goodbye to just getting by with a Goodbye Loan.
Goodbye, old paint.
Only from the Bank of New York. Annual percentage rate for home improvement loans, now 14%.
Glenn Curry makes the play to the front of the net. Francis Getty, right here, takes a hit. His second hit in a matter of seconds. Good chance for Washington, but Dennis Potvin took a tripping penalty on the play. Washington get a power play.
And the Caps trying to keep the puck in. Christian over on left wing. Got it to the corner. Gartner to Langway. Into Gartner. Lets one go. Smith the pad save. Morrow unable to pick up the rebound. It's loose at the side of the net, and Smith covers up on it. Out to kill off the penalty, it was Trottier and Caller, and now Goring is coming out. On defense, Johnson and Morrow. Brent Sutter comes over the boards at the Islander bench as we look at Billy Smith.
Shot from the angle, Jiggs. This one, Mike Gartner. He hit the net this time. Last night, he took 3 shots at the net before he finally hit it. Tonight, his first shot on the net. Number 27 for Washington, Dave Christian trying to get to the rebound, but Ken Morrow had cleared it in front of him.
Brent Sutter takes the face-off, won the draw from Christian, and Morrow banks it around the board. Sutter was knocked down. Langway feeds it to Murphy. Murphy dumps it into the corner. Gustafson works his way along the boards, fed it to the corner instead for Christian. To Gustafson, slipped off the stick, and is cleared by Brent Sutter. Murphy and Langway coming back on the Washington defense. Christian, Gustafson, and Gartner are the forwards. Murphy gave it to Langway, now to Christian. Over center ice, across the Islander line. His pass was broken up by Johnson, and Murphy recovers. Larry Murphy being chased by Greg Gilbert. Now to Langway. His pass went off Gilbert's stick and is cleared back by Morrow. Langway knocked it out of the air, and Morrow slams it down into the Washington end of the ice. Matt Riggin works it around. Langway will pick it up in the corner, drops it back for Murphy. Brent Sutter is into forecheck as Murphy zigzags back of the net and starts out now. Murphy into center ice. Shot it off Brent Sutter. He clears it off the glass. It's picked up by Caller. Gets across the line. Stevens chases him to the boards, and Gustafson picks up the puck. At Gustafson up the left side. Carpenter unable to pick it up. This is Alan Haworth. Haworth at the blue line. Played it to the left side. Lachlan drop pass. Stevens a shot. That missed the net. Comes back to the blue line, and the Caps had trouble handling it. Peter Anderson picks it up. Anderson, poke check by Brent Sutter as he got to the Islander line. The puck comes out to center ice. 12 seconds left in this power play. Stevens sends Carpenter over the line. Can't get through the defense. He comes back to Anderson at the blue line. A drive. That missed the net on the left side. Stevens off the point. His shot deflects wide of Smith. Picked up by Pearson. Pearson out to center ice. Potvin is offside. They had just come out of the penalty box. A 2-line pass is called. We have played 4 minutes of the opening period. There's no score between the Islanders and the Capitals.
You're looking at the new owners of Eastern Airlines. 37,000 employees of Eastern are now stockholders, each with a personal investment in how Eastern performs.
So we'll be working even harder.
Moving even faster. Going even farther.
To serve you even better.
Earning our wings every day. That's not just a slogan, it's a commitment from the owners.
At Eastern, we earn our wings every day.
Washington on the power play. Carpenter trying to get away. Somebody's got a hold of his stick the other end. He's got one end. Paul Boudelier has the other as Stefan Pearson picks up the puck, sends it down the ice. 2 shots. Washington, they had one before the power play started, Jake, so they really only had 1 shot. That was Gartner's at the beginning of the power play from a bad angle.
Last night, Game 3, each team had 3 power play chances. Neither team able to score. To this point, the Caps have had 16, now 17 power play chances in the series. The Islanders have had 11. Morrow clears the puck out to LaFontaine, who shoots it in. Gillies races it after it on the left side. Regan plays it around to Sampson. Bumped by Flatley. Stevens picked it up. Worked it outside the blue line, and there's Morrow. Back to Gord Lane. Lane filling in for the injured Dave Langevin on the Islander defense. Lachlan shoots it high and deep. Flatley with it. Matt Flatley around the boards. It goes to Jarvis. He's bumped solidly by Lane. The puck loose back of the net. And the Caps unable to center as Lachlan was in deep. The Islanders dump it to center. Shan picks it up. Sent Sampson over the line, but he was unable to wait long enough for Lachlan to get back on side.
Another offside by the Washington Capitals, Jiggs. Last night they had problems with that. It hurt their attack as they took the play immediately to the Islanders, but they kept going offside. Kind of offside that hurts a team. Get some offensive attacks going and killing it, like back-checking for the other team. Look at the opportunity, standing all alone in front of the net. Gary Sampson, number 20, but they couldn't get the puck to him. The Islanders covering well.
Now Brian Trottier centers for Matt Saline and Mike Bossy. The Caps following the draw move into the Islanders zone. Haworth goes to the corner. Janssen knocked it away from him. Over to Bossy. Bossy is checked. Janssen gets his stick on it. Poffan pokes it at the side of the net. It came off the net, and they're unable to clear it as Carpenter and Helene bump together. Alan Haworth over on left wing. Back to Langway. Langway's low shot through a screen was deflected wide, and Matt Saline is able to dump it down the ice. We'll get an icing call as Langway goes back. Helene had tied up a couple of Capitals. Both Gartner and Blomqvist had felt the force of a blow from Helene down in the Islander end of the ice.
I would have to think, Jiggs, that on the thinking of the Washington Capitals, it's to keep hitting, keep pounding away. Youth is on their side. Mike Gardner as he pounds into Matt Saline, number 20 for the Islanders. You see Helene reach out. He crawls over top of one Washington Capital to try and gain his balance.
Trottier and Carpenter on the face-off. Haworth is on the left side. Gartner on the right for the Caps. Goring stepped in too quickly, and Carpenter has been asked to leave the face-off area. Gartner talks it over with Haworth. They have Langway and Blomqvist on defense. From the draw, it goes to Poffan, and he dumps it up the middle of the ice, forcing Langway to chase it. They'll try and make Langway play it as often as they possibly can, just to wear him out. Gilbert across to Janssen. Now into center ice. Langway moves up, lost it to Bossy. He's over the Washington line. Bossy with a slap shot. Regan just got a piece of that. It comes around to the left point for Potvin. Potvin's drive is deflected, goes to Janssen. Shot it off Blomqvist, who was parked in front of the net. Gilbert picks it up. Greg Gilbert back to Janssen. It bounced over his stick. And Potvin chases it for the New York Islanders. Smith out of the net, plays it around to Janssen. Up the right wing and right to the Capitals player Gustafsson, who had broken in. Trottier unable to recover it in the corner. Comes out in front. Gartner a slap shot. Oh my, missed the net. Back to the right point. Shan drills it wide. Came off his skate into the corner. Carpenter picks it up. Feeds the blue line for Stevens. His slap shot. Smith the save. The rebound is cleared to the point. Shan shot blocked in front. Gustafsson picks up the puck. Cleared it outside the blue line as Shan had trouble recovering it. David Shan. Gustafsson. Potvin moves up, breaks up the play. We get a whistle back of the play. There's going to be a penalty to the Islanders. The Capitals go to the power play as Janssen goes off for holding. There's 13 and a half minutes remaining in the opening period. You're watching the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals.
Thinking about throwing in the towel?
No, think about making it Michelob Light for the winners.
Your serve.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Boy, I need help with my serve.
Tom will help you.
First, you remove the cap.
Michelob Light.
Tremendous pressure by the Washington Capitals, Jiggs. It creates penalties on the Islanders. This time, Thomas Janssen. He takes a holding penalty, standing in front of Billy Smith. pulling down not one, but two Washington Capitals, so they go to the power play once again.
And here's Langway handling the puck with a pass to Murphy. Shot it high, it went off Morrow and up into the crowd.
Jiggs, I talked about the opportunities that you get in a hockey game. You only get so many of them. Mike Gardner had the best opportunity I've seen him have in 2 hockey games, and he missed the net. Didn't make Billy Smith stop the puck. He tried to pick the top right-hand corner and missed the net completely. You can't do it. Not and win hockey games in the playoffs.
No, you've got to finish the opportunities you get. Now from this draw, the puck goes up into the seats once more. And they'll face off right at the Islander blue line.
With the Washington Capitals having the Islanders on the run like that, Jiggs, even a half-speed shot on the net with all of the bodies around the front of the net, Billy Smith forced to stop it. There has to be a rebound.
Now Langway feeds it across to Murphy. Turn to get away from Brent Sutter. Murphy over center ice. The Islander line backhanded it right to Morrow's stick. And the Caps will go back. And Murphy drawing some attention from the Washington crowd. They're booing. Christian took it from Langway, works it to the left side. Murphy over center ice. Bad pass for Eriksson, was broken up by Persson. Now Langway to the blue line. Chased along the line. Morrow knocks him down. Eriksson is checked by Brent Sutter, and the puck goes loose. Sutter got tangled up. The Caps control the puck. Murphy and Langway at the points. Langway into Christian at the side of the net. Eriksson can't pull the trigger, and Anders Kaller starts out.
See how Kaller got the puck, Jiggs? Billy Smith checked the Washington Capitals. Kaller ended up with the puck, put it down the ice.
And the Caps make some changes on their power play with 53 seconds remaining in it. Carpenter is at center ice, fed it to Eriksson. Lachlan heads for the front of the net. The pass to Murphy. Shoots. Smith makes the save. They had 2 men parked in front of Smith. Potvin got the stick up on Carpenter. There'll be a penalty as Eriksson's shot goes off the post. Loose back of the net. Lachlan picks it up. Lachlan puts it out in front, and as Boudelier handles the puck, play is called. And Dennis Potvin makes his second trip to the penalty box, but now Washington with a 2-man advantage for the next 32 seconds, barring any further penalties.
The opportunities don't come any better. The captain, a holding penalty created by the Washington Capitals. Look at here. Dennis Potvin with the left arm around Carpenter's head, pulls him down. He gets a penalty. He joins Thomas Johnson in the penalty box, who still has 32 seconds. There's Potvin as he gets Carpenter out of the action, taking him heavily to the ice. And Washington coming so close. Look at the stick across the top of the head as Potvin works him over pretty good. Could have been roughing, could have been holding, how about even mugging?
Potvin for a holding. Johnson already off for a holding. The Caps did not have a shot during the first 1 minute and 28 seconds of Johnson's penalty time. Brent Sutter, the only forward for the Islanders. Persson and Morrow on defense. Stevens with a shot. Smith, the stick save. Comes to the corner for Carpenter. Back along to the blue line. Feeds it over to Stevens. Stevens lets one go. Changed direction in front. Morrow took his man off the play. The puck comes back to Stevens. Feeds it to Murphy. Murphy holds on to it as Morrow went down. Stevens can't handle the pass. Hits it right back again. Scott Stevens to Murphy. Larry Murphy fakes the shot. Trying to get away from Morrow. Now into the corner. Lachlan back to Murphy. Murphy shooting off the post to the left of the net. Here's Carpenter with the puck. Johnson is back on, and the Islanders have broken up the Caps' power play and cleared it down the ice. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in the penalty to Denny Potvin. There is no score in the first period. Scott Stevens into center ice. Partially checked by Gilbert. Now Gilbert unable to take the puck away from Lachlan. Goring was there to help out, and he has dumped it down the ice.
So it's important here, Jiggs, that the Washington Capitals get organized, slow things down, set up their power play, and get an opportunity at the net with 50 seconds remaining in Dennis Potvin's penalty.
Over center ice and into the Islander zone when Anderson shot it in wide. Johnson off the boards. Gustafsson failed to pick it up, and Goring has cleared it. Over comes Stevens. 40 seconds left in Potvin's penalty. Scott Stevens to the left side. Stevens gave it to Gustafsson. He's over the line. Left side, centered one in front. Gartner again. Backhanded it way wide of the net. And the Islanders have cleared it out of there. Johnson slapping it down into the Washington zone. Reagan overshot it on the first effort. Now leaves it for Stevens. This crowd trying to get the Caps a goal as Stevens brings it into the center ice zone. His pass off Caller's stick. Caller reached over, couldn't recover in time. There's Gartner with it, and he just coughed it up for Janssen. Janssen sends Brent Sutter into the Washington end of the ice. Sutter trying to work in around Anderson. It's bumped back to the net. Teams are at 6 aside, so the Islanders have killed off the two-man disadvantage. Out at center ice, it's Curry. Right side to Gartner. Breaks it on goal. He shoots. Smith the save. The puck loose. On to a slam wide of the net by Gustafson. Curry in deep. Takes it off the boards. Glenn Curry to the blue line for Shand. His drive went high and wide of the net. It'll be picked up and cleared down the ice by Brent Sutter. The Islanders get the pressure off. There'll be an icing call here. A break in the action with 9.5 minutes remaining in the first period. There's no score between the Islanders and the Capitals.
This was New York's first bank, the Bank of New York. Today, we're one of the country's most dynamic banks, a major processor of government securities and mutual funds, a leading lender to such industries as communications, construction, and utilities. Yet we've never outgrown our commitment to personal service. Only one New York bank has endured to celebrate a bicentennial, the Bank of New York, looking ahead for 200 years.
An opportunity again. Mike Gardner, one of the best players in the league. Look at the shot Billy Smith takes away from him. Look at the poise of Smith. Good stop. Gustafson come in behind him, trying to poke in a rebound. Look at the balance by Gardner. Tried to put it in the top of the net. Billy Smith beat him again.
What action. Washington out shooting the Islanders 5-1. There's no score as Poffan has cleared the puck into center ice. LaFontaine out with Trottier and Gillies. Now Pat Flatley comes out to replace Trottier as Jarvis comes over center ice. Got it into the Islanders zone. Sampson goes in after it. Flatley picks it up around to Denny Poffan. Poffan rolls it around the boards. Langway at the left point. Shot it high. Smith slaps it out of the air. Reached up, appeared to be hit with a high stick, but there was no call. And now Clark Gillies trying to come out of the corner. Gillies knocked the puck loose. It's centered. Sampson pokes at it. Ran into Lane, and Flatley came over to take control. Pat Flatley back and forth behind the net. Gave it to Lane. Off the boards, out into center ice. It's recovered by Rod Langway. To Jarvis. Jarvis flips a check from Potvin. That's to the right side. Back to Shand. Shand's long shot blocked in front of the net. It actually hit Lachlan and is picked up by Flatley. Pat Flatley over the Washington line. Holds on to the puck that was taken out of the play by Langway. Jarvis up the middle for Sampson. He and Shand come to center. 3 Islanders back. As Sampson dumped it in, it's taken by Paul Boudelier. Boudelier and Persson together on defense. Boudelier up the left wing, lost the puck. Trottier was there. Trottier to Persson. Now to Boudelier. Long pass deflected off Duchesne. Matt Saline goes in after it. He and Anderson worked their way to the corner boards. Anderson cleared the puck to Duchesne. Eitan Duchesne across to the right side. Timo Blomqvist comes over center ice. Shot it in wide of Smith, but he also shot it in offside, so play has been called.
Islanders try to get something going, Jake. They're trying to try and get some offensive action. They've got to relieve some pressure off Billy Smith. Again, in this early period, Smith has kept the Islanders from falling behind. Albeit, you look at the shots, 5-1 by Washington. The puck has hardly been out of the Islanders' end of the ice. Kudos to the defensive posture of the Islanders. They're penalty killing the positions that they maintain in front of the net. Washington do not get a lot of opportunity. Here, Billy Smith, overhand serve, puck into the corner.
Pat Saline with the puck is backhanded it wide of Pat Riggin. Stevens back for it, chased by Trottier, moved it up the left side to Duchesne. Shot it in from center ice. Francis Getty goes in after it. Helene ties him up. Boudelier cleared it, but right to Curry. To Blomqvist. Shot it off the stick of Trottier and over the glass.
Jiggs Francis Getty for the Washington Capitals put a lot of energy into the hockey game last night. I thought he played a pretty good game. Inserted into the lineup for Bobby Gould, who was hurt in the second game of the Islander Capital series back on Long Island. But he played pretty good. Had a nice quote in the paper yesterday. I think he said, I've got the opportunity here in the next 2 games to make or break my career with the Washington Capitals. Let's hope I don't cut my own throat.
Well, he did not off his play last night. There's a good hip check by Langway as he took Flatley down in the Washington end of the ice. And he hung right with him and made sure that the Islander rookie didn't go anywhere.
Langway trying to gather his feet underneath him, puts his hand down on Flatley, and Flatley grabbed him around the ankles to keep him from going anywhere.
Now Murphy at the Islander line, shot it in off Goring. It came out to center for Brent Sutter, back to Johnson. Now to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter shot it in around Langway and then took quite a hit from the big Washington captain. Johnson dumps it in. Larry Murphy up the left side. Ed Gustafson fed it to Christian. He carries it across the line. Christian looking to make the play, lets the shot go, and that deflected wide of Smith. Greg Gilbert takes over in the corner. Shot it off the boards, away from Langway. Icing is waved off. Ray Scapinello ruling that Washington could have played it, so Langway is back. Gave it to Murphy. Brent Sutter was right on top of him. The Caps just leave it in the center ice zone where it's picked up by Morrow. Now to Johnson, relays it into the Washington end of the ice. It rolls wide of Friggin, and this is waved off as far as any icing. Gillies unable to pick up the puck. Wayne Sutter stepped into Haworth. Persson back for the Islanders. Gave it to Trottier across to Persson. Now to Potvin. No score. Still just over 6 minutes left in the opening period. Trottier to Gillies. Gillies checked right at the Washington line. It's picked up by Murphy. Gave it to Gartner. Checked and turned by Potvin. And here's Gillies. The pass to Potvin. And Potvin shooting. Riggin got a piece of it as Potvin was spilled by Stevens. Scott Stevens up the right side for Carpenter. Gartner moves up with him. Gartner takes the pass. The slap shot. Stick hand save. The rebound is cleared wide by Haworth. Trottier with the puck. Chased by Carpenter as he gave it to Bossy over on right wing. Mike Bossy lays it off the boards into center ice, and Blomqvist has to go back. Nemo Blomqvist waits for his teammates. Kaller went into forecheck. Gartner took the pass from Blomqvist and just relayed it inside the Islander blue line. Kenny Morrow gives it to Pat LaFontaine. LaFontaine works his way down right wing. Took a hit at the blue line. Lost control of the puck. Stevens with it. Check from behind by Nystrom. He got away from the check. Over the line comes Howard. The pass to Sampson. Sampson, a drop pass intercepted by LaFontaine. He's over center ice. Fed it to Nystrom, and Stevens broke up the pass. Scott Stevens, a slap shot. Smith the save, and he drops the puck for Boudelier. Now to Kaller. Kaller up to center. LaFontaine with his head down takes a hit from Sampson, his teammate from the Olympic team. Now Morrow has dumped it in wide to Pat Riggin. He lets it go to Blomqvist. We're going to whistle for an icing call. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first period. We're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on WOR TV.
Really embarrassing when you're misled by some tricky advertising and you stand in the middle of the showroom like an idiot, and the salesman's going, "Yeah, well, that price is for a totally stripped car." I mean, if you're gonna give me the price of a car, give me the price of a real car.
When your Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it.
I mean, don't insult my intelligence.
Sparkling playoff action. The hitting is excellent. Look at the sticks. They stay down. The elbows stay down. Bob Nystrom. Doug Jarvis goes down under the heavy hit from Bob Nystrom. Dennis Potvin got an opportunity a moment ago. Kicked aside by Riggin. Sacrifices all over the ice, Jiggs. Players. Washington is playing a tremendous first period here. They'll only have to flood one into the ice.
Now Goring gets into the Washington zone. Langway hung with him. Dumped the puck to center, and Morrow was there. Lost it to Christian, across to Eriksson. Boudelier knocks it away from him. The puck loose at center ice. Shan moving up, takes a hit from Goring. And Gillies takes the puck. The pass to Dwayne Sutter. It's into the equipment of Langway and up his pant leg. That's twice in one game we've had the old hidden puck trick. Once by Goring, and now by Langway.
Dwayne Sutter. Lot to say to Langway. Langway doesn't pay too much attention to him as he drops the puck out of his pants. I do not see that very often, Jiggs. Over the years, very seldom. It's happened a few times. Here tonight in one period, twice. Langway's looking for it. The puck hit him on the back of the leg and went right up his leg. You see him reach to the right side, and he knows he's got the puck. Sutter was jamming away at his leg. That's what made Langway mad at him. Sutter's saying, let go of the puck so we can continue with the game. Steal the puck and the game is over.
And then it dropped out. It must have been in their crossways between the pant and the leg. The edges, at least, did not come out for a while. There's no score. The Caps have had 3 power plays and a 2-man advantage for 32 seconds. Haven't been able to score. They've outshot the Islanders 7-1, and they've got the puck again. Haworth is across the line. Make the shot, gave it to Carpenter. Boudelier riding hurt on him, and Goring has cleared it down the ice. The Caps did not tighten up at the defense, so Reagan leaves it for Peter Anderson. Out of Murphy, back to Anderson. Around to the right point. Here's Persson with a shot to a screen. Knocked down by Goring. Goring and Anderson go to the corner. Sutter picks up the puck. Back it comes to Potvin. His drive hit Gartner. Lee Potvin at the blue line. Give it a puck. The puck comes loose. Potvin with it again to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter wheels over the blue line with a shot. Off the stick of Anderson. It's recovered by Gartner. The Carpenter stick handle over the line. The fans react to Carpenter going down and no call. And here's Curry putting it right on Potvin's stick. Turned it into center ice. Bloomquist reached, did not make contact with it, and the puck ends up in the Washington zone, and the Islanders have been called for icing. We've just over 3 minutes to play in the first period. We'll take a break in the action. The game is scoreless.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Michelle Slate relies on mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline for your everyday driving needs.
Just over 3 minutes to go here in the first period. One shot is all the Islanders have had at the Washington Capitals net. Here's Carpenter as he gets tripped up. That was shown here in the building. They have a huge television screen. It was shown again in all the oohs and ahs. We've heard twice now over that same play. No penalty called.
Persson steps into Sampson. Sampson picks up the puck in the Islander end. Unable to center it out in front. Persson falls over top of Sampson. A little scuffle going on in front of the net as Trottier and Jarvis. Billy Smith goes into his act, rolling around at the side of the net as everybody converges. Greg Gilbert and Scott Stevens arm in arm right in front of now a vacated Islander goal.
Unfortunately, there's probably going to be penalties. He'll have to call the penalties only to cool the players down a little bit. Jarvis was having a tough time in front of the net with Brian Trottier. That's really where it all began. And from there, what you see now is just intimidation, the odd glove in the face. Brent Sutter comes in, take care of things. Of course, Scott Stevens for the Washington Capitals was in quickly on behalf of his team to make sure that no unfair advantage was taken of any of the Washington Capitals.
Referee Dave Newell handing out some penalties. Here's where it all started. Trottier and Jarvis in front of the net.
To the left hand, two left hooks by Trottier. It's no wonder, there's 3. It's no wonder Jarvis got mad. Trottier stands back and everybody comes in to help him out.
Did you see Billy Smith?
Yeah, he took a dive. He took a dive. He took a backflip. Usually they go forward. Watch the stick of Jarvis or somebody. There's right here. There's the stick as it. Oh, wow. Oh, backflip. There's a 2-minute penalty, along with the dive that Francis Getty took earlier in the period. That's the stuff I don't like to see. I really don't. What they're trying to do is draw penalties in doing it.
Penalties. Number 17,
I think it makes the game look a little bit more like wrestling or roller derby or something when you start to see a lot of that.
Number 25, Doug Jarvis.
Comes
Number 3, Scott Stevens.
not a sport, entertainment.
Roughing penalties, 2 minutes to each player. Jarvis and Stevens for Washington. Gilbert and Trottier of the Islanders. Look out, Billy.
Oh, look at the left hooks by Brian Trottier. You talk about the intimidation. Jarvis still can't figure out why, but Trottier keep popping away at him, and Brent Sutter takes over. I don't like that either.
On our first intermission tonight, we'll begin a review of the history of the Capitals.
You know who was famous for that?
What's that?
Over the years. You know who was famous for that? Bobby Clark. Brian Trottier several times has been accused of being the Bobby Clark of the New York Islanders by a lot of the players in the National Hockey League. He starts a lot of things and then he backs off and in come his teammates. I wonder if they're right.
Teams at 4 aside, including the goaltenders. Johnson and Morrow on the ice with LaFontaine up front for the Islanders. Langway and Shan for Washington, with Carpenter the only forward, and LaFontaine has dumped the puck in wide. Regan leaves it for David Shan. Shan on the right side, tied up by LaFontaine as he got to the Islander line. Johnson came over, couldn't knock the puck loose. Shan with it again, fed it to Carpenter. The drive right into the catching glove of Smith, drops it off, back of the net. It's LaFontaine starting out. Chased back by Carpenter's forechecking. Gave it to Johnson. Thomas Johnson comes up the left side. 3 Capitals converge on him. Johnson got the puck right back off Carpenter's stick. The pass now to Kaller. Anders Kaller trying to get in around Langway. Comes to the front of the net. The puck rolled off his stick. He recovers, turns, shoots. It hit Langway. Shan trying to pick it up. Kaller steals it, walks right in, shoots. Regan beats him. Kaller with it again. Anders Kaller and Shan tie up one another back of the net, and there's no further play. Out in front, Morrow and Langway shoving, but as you see Kaller back in the net, the puck was under his arm.
Great moves by Anders Kaller, Jiggs. Hasn't played a lot, but boy, has he made his presence felt when he's been on the ice. A couple of defensive lapses by Washington, and Kaller takes advantage. Here he is. He moves well. He moves quickly. He gets in behind and gets around Langway. Then he comes to the front of the net. Lost the puck momentarily. Ended up with it again. Let's take a look right here. Look at Kaller. Right between the legs of Shan. Shan made a mistake going for the puck. Kaller goes in, takes the shot. Regan stands his ground and makes the save. That's only the second shot of the period for the Islanders. Here's the way the puck was tied up behind the net. Kaller with Shan. Shan finally made the right move by taking the body of Kaller. They're both down on the ice and the puck underneath them.
Shots on goal, 8 by the Capitals, 2 by the Islanders. Kaller on this face-off. It was won by the Caps. Curry had taken the draw. Now they play it to the right wing for Murphy. Murphy and Anderson on defense. Buffett and Persson on the Islander defense. Larry Murphy into the Islander zone. Turns. 28 seconds remaining in those penalties. Murphy gets across the blue line. Has trouble making the play and brings it outside the line. Dropped it back to Anderson. Murphy having all kinds of trouble in this first period. Anderson to Murphy. Lost it. Curry picks it up. It was knocked away from him. Now Murphy plays it across to Anderson. Persson checks him. Stefan Persson kicked it loose for Butch Goring. Now to Poffan. Across to Goring on left wing. Murphy steals the puck. Unable to get a shot away. He's chased outside the line. The Islanders put it back into their own zone. The teams are at 6 aside again with 53 seconds left in the opening period. There's no score here at Washington. Greg Gilbert comes down the right side. Trying to work around Langway. What a play, but then Langway just got a piece of him. Gartner plays the puck to the blue line. Here's Boudelier through a screen. Knocked down in front. They score! Trottier picks up the loose puck. The Islanders lead 1-0.
For the Washington Capitals, you would almost say it's unfair, but the New York Islanders know how to beat you. You make the mistake, and I'll take advantage of it. Gartner, who's had several opportunities in the hockey game so far and missed them, threw the puck away. Here's the shot by Boudelier from the point. Brian Trottier kept it from going in one time and then put it in the next. He didn't see it after it hit the goaltender, Regan. Watch here as the puck comes through. It'll hit Brian Trottier on its way to the net, but Trottier, left unprotected, slams it in easily. 1-0 Islanders. Brian Trottier getting the goal.
Trottier's 4th playoff goal this year from Boudelier at 19:22. The Islanders lead it 1-0. Bossy with the puck. The pass off Trottier. Down to the Washington line. Bloomquist gave it to Stevens. Right back to Bloomquist. Up this near side. Trottier comes back. It's the second time in this series that the Islanders have scored the opening goal. Goring had the other one in game 2 of the series. Francis Getty gets over the Islander line. Trottier got a piece of him, knocking him down. Francis Getty and Trottier collide just as the horn sounds, ending the first period. But Brian Trottier's goal has taken the New York Islanders to a 1-0 lead over the Capitals. The Caps making the playoffs for the second time in their history. 10 years in the National Hockey League, and in those 10 years, there have been 158 players, including 16 goaltenders wearing a Washington uniform. They've had 7 different coaches, 4 different general managers. Some very humble beginnings. More about that coming up. But our score at the end of one period is the New York Islanders 1, the Washington Capitals 0.
At last, one airline has done something unique for America's senior citizens.
For only $1,199 each, we can travel anywhere Eastern flies in the U.S. for a year. So we're going to visit our niece in Boston, our kids in L.A., and dear old Mom in Florida.
If you're 65, you qualify. Your Get Up and Go passport also entitles you to major discounts at participating hotels. Call Eastern or your travel agent for details.
Eastern's Get Up and Go passport. It was worth waiting for.
It's been 10 years since the birth of the Washington Capitals, 10 long years of building from one of the worst teams in the National Hockey League's history to now one of the legitimate contenders for the Stanley Cup. If you were to ask anyone associated with that first team to bring back some memories, he'd probably look at you, cringe, turn, and walk away. All but one person, that is, the owner, Mr. Abe Poland. This is the $18 million Capitol Center, located in Landover, Maryland, some 26 miles from the White House. It was constructed in 1972 by Mr. Poland, the owner of the NBA Washington Bullets. By 1974, Abe Poland had purchased a National Hockey League expansion franchise. And when then League President Clarence Campbell attended opening night at the Capitol Center on October 11, 1974, the Washington Capitals had become the 18th team in the league, joining the expansion Kansas City Scouts. A crowd of just over 8,000 saw the Capitals tie the Los Angeles Kings 1-1 that night. 6 nights later, the Capitals beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-3, and great things were happening to the new team. However, that first-year team went on to post a league record 67 losses. Their overall season, 8 wins, 67 losses, and 5 ties. That broke the New York Islanders' first-year record of only 12 wins and 60 losses set 2 years earlier. Doug Moens, a veteran of 22 NHL seasons, was the captain of that first team. It was his last year in the league. Doug Moens was 41 years old and still managed to get 21 points for the Caps. Tom Williams, who had joined the Boston Bruins following the 1960 Olympic victory in Squaw Valley, led the first-year Capitals with 22 goals and 36 assists. 34-year-old Williams, the top-scoring American in the NHL at the time, played just one more season. And there was Ron Lowe. Yes, the same Ron Lowe, now playing for the New Jersey Devils. Lowe was only 24 years old and posted the Capitals' first shutout. He blanked the Kansas City Scouts in February of 1975. Greg Jolly, a big, tough defenseman, was the first draft pick of the Washington Capitals. And that first team also included Jack Eagers, a former New York Ranger. Gord Smith, brother of the Islanders' Billy Smith, was a Washington Capitals defenseman. And Ivan LeBray, a defenseman drafted from the Pittsburgh Penguins, became the crowd favorite. When LeBray retired due to injuries just 3 years ago, his uniform number 7 was retired. Milt Schmidt, a Boston hockey hero, both as a player, coach, and general manager, was the Caps' top hockey executive that first season. Jimmy Anderson was hired as the first coach. He was fired with a record of 4 wins, 45 losses, and 5 ties. Former Ranger Red Sullivan won 2 and lost 17 as the next coach. And Milt Schmidt finished the year with 2 more coaching wins. The second season wasn't much better. Milt Schmidt again started as the coach and was replaced by Tommy McVie as the Caps won 11, lost 59, and tied 10. Some better players were acquired in the ensuing years. People like Guy Charon, the team MVP in 77-78. He signed as a free agent, and Charon had years of 38 and 28 goals. And in 1978, Dennis Marook, a high-scoring center, had joined the Capitals. For 4 of the next 5 seasons, Marook led the team in scoring, and the fortunes had begun to turn. While the teams were getting better each year in the Washington area, there was no marked increase in the number of fans coming out to support the Capitals. We'll continue to trace the birth of the Washington Capitals from worst in the league to respectability on our next intermission. The Stanley Cup playoffs, the New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals will continue following these messages.
Come on, I'll race you back. You gotta be kidding. For Michelob Light? Catch you later.
But a couple of guys really go at it like this for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Too bad you missed that light back then.
Yeah, but I made this one.
Michelob Light.
This was New York's first bank, the Bank of New York. Today, we're one of the country's most dynamic banks, a major processor of government securities and mutual funds, a leading lender to such industries as communications, construction, and utilities. Yet we've never outgrown our commitment to personal service. Only one New York bank has endured to celebrate a bicentennial, the Bank of New York, looking ahead for 200 years.
Nissan technology versus the bottom line. The challenge, create room for 5, power for passing, outstanding mileage. The solution, Sentra, a major value from Nissan at a sticker price of just $51.99. The Nissan Sentra.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Why pay for a 2-pound envelope when you're only sending 1 pound? Stop paying for a pound of air. Emery introduces the 1-pound urgent pouch.
We've played 1 period at the Capitol Center in Game 4 of the Patrick Division Finals. The score, the New York Islanders 1, the Washington Capitals 0. The Islanders playing this game tonight without veteran defenseman Dave Langevin. He's down in the dressing room area. So is our own Ed Westfall. Let's go down to the studio and join them. Eddie?
Thank you, Jiggs. You have that right. Dave Langevin's with me. I know you'd sooner be out there. You tried to knock the boards down last night.
Yeah, I think I did. I did it once in college. I knocked the boards over, but last night they're a little stiffer than I've been used to.
Have you had shoulder problems before, Dave, or is this something new for you?
Oh, very new for me. So I'm usually a knee man, but I guess I got to start somewhere else now.
Davey, you must feel a little bit better in the fact that your team won last night. We want to take a look at some of the highlights, and while we're taking a look at the highlights, we'll get a kind of a Dave Langevin look at what happened on this particular goal. That's Haworth scoring.
Right, Pat LaFontaine, I guess, made a pass into the slot, and the guy just walked in and took the shot.
Islanders get revenge here, though. This is a nice setup from a face-off situation, and Flatley, I didn't know that Flatley could shoot the puck that good.
I know in practice sometimes he surprises you, but
here's the goal, Dave, that really ended it for the Washington Capitals. What was really the big mistake in this particular goal?
Well, I think right there to pass, I think it was a hope pass, and Greg Gilbert was moving in. I think lack of communication, or he just tried to make too good of a pass in their zone when there was nobody there.
Now we take a look at the very end. This is probably the icing on the cake, an empty net goal, which always kind of relieves all of the tension of the players at the end of the game.
Oh, especially, you're 1 goal up, and, they're putting on a pressure. It doesn't, everybody thinks, well, it's not an important goal, but I'll tell you, you would get that, because if they get a tying goal at the end there, it goes in overtime, and it's 1-shot game then.
Dave, are you surprised at all with the way the Washington Capitals have played the Islanders to this point in the series?
Oh, definitely not. They're a team that wait for our mistakes, and when we make them, they've been there to put them in. But I think right now, Billy Smith's been the difference again. And one thing we have to cut out is our penalties. We're tiring ourselves out. Our defense are out there too long. They're killing penalties, and there's only a few guys that, like the forwards too, that are out there a lot. So you're not getting the continuity. Some guys are tired and some guys are sitting on a bench waiting to get out there. So I think those are things we have to stop doing. But Washington, they're a good skating team, and they just keep coming at you. But
do you think that if you keep playing the way you're playing, I mean, if you're the shots are very one-sided. The total play is very one-sided, but you're still winning. Can you continue to do that and knock off a team like Washington?
Well, we're always, people have said we're always outplayed and always outshot, but we've won 4 in a row, so...
And how about the Ranger series? I suppose that is a good example, too.
That's another good example. It just, it seems like, you know, they're getting a lot of shots, but you take a look at where the shots are coming from, the perimeter. But the only time we had trouble is like on the power plays, which they're going to sometimes get good high percentage shots, and Billy Smith's stopped them. So sometimes shots are deceiving, but, you know, if you get that many, they got to be in our end a lot. And as the game goes on, it seems like we get stronger, and we took over the second half of the second period to the last half of the game.
The reason I'm laughing is because it reminds me of something I heard Al Arbor say once, that you're tiring them out and you're into the ice.
Well, it seems to be working, you know.
Yeah. Listen, I know you probably have seen it. In case you haven't, we're going to take a look at the injury that Dave Langevin suffered in last night's hockey game. Dave, walk us through this a little bit, if you will.
Well, I was just, see the puck is bouncing there, and then it got into my feet. And I looked down to pass it, and the guy cross-checked me.
You didn't see Erickson coming in behind you at all. Did you sense that he was there?
Well, I had a feeling. You know, anytime in that situation, they're gonna, you know, a guy's gonna forecheck you. And but I didn't. The puck was bouncing, and maybe Smitty shouldn't have left it there, because that's a tough place for a defenseman. And
did you know you were hurt when you went into the boards?
Well, I felt something right away. It wasn't like a popping or anything. I just felt like soreness. I just thought, well, maybe it's just you know, just from the initial hit. But then, you know, as I stood there, I moved it, and it just felt like there was something wrong, and there is.
Davey, thanks for the visit. I understand it'll be 2 or 3 weeks, and we may get you back.
2.
2, all right.
My best, yeah,
of course. You'll be back tomorrow if they'd let you. Let's go back up and join Jiggs McDonald.
Yeah, big, strong guy. Wants to be back in the lineup. All right, Eddie. Dave Langevin will receive from Fortunoff, the Source, a Seiko quartz watch. See Seiko's winning combination of quartz accuracy and unique styling at Fortunoff, the Source. Seiko, setting the standard for the world for the future. After one period, it's the Islanders 1, the Capitals nothing. We'll be back at the Capitol Center right after these messages.
Everybody seems to be looking for bargain fares today, which is why Eastern keeps its fares as low as possible. Our cut-rate competitors claim their fares are bargains because they've cut out the frills. At Eastern, we don't consider experience and service to be frills. The average experience of our captains is 23 years. Our maintenance people have been with us an average of 13 years. Now, 37,000 Eastern employees are stockholders in our airline, owners. And nobody gives you better service than the owners. Next time you see a low fare offered by a no-frills airline, call Eastern and compare the fare. We want you to see how competitive we are. Then compare airlines, planes, service, experience, and the commitment of 37,000 owners. I think you'll be able to tell which airline offers the real bargain fares.
Do you know how many of these motor oils would love to make this claim? Well, this one can. Mobil 1. Now, Mobil 1 and our other fine motor oils come in this easy-pour, resealable plastic container. Mobil Motor Oil. Now it's easier to use than ever.
Hi. It's the New York Islanders 1, the Washington Capitals nothing, as we await the return of the teams for the second period here in Landover, Maryland. The shots on goal in the opening period by the Capitals 8 and by the New York Islanders 5. The only goal of the period came with 38 seconds remaining to play. Brian Trottier getting his 4th playoff goal, 3 of them in this series against the Caps. Trottier from Paul Boudelier. The puck cleared from the corner, back to Boudelier. He found Trottier in front of the net, and his 4th of the year after Reagan had come up with the initial save, and the Islanders are on top by a score of 1-0. Really, the period belongs to Billy Smith. He was miraculous at the Islander end, kept them in the hockey game, and then they get the opportunity. After Callard had a couple of great chances earlier, Brian Trottier hits the goal. Eddie Westfall has rejoined me here in the broadcast booth. 18, let's take a look at it.
Here's the shot by Baudelaire, Jiggs. Skipped through it, hit Brian Trottier. Might say that was Paul Baudelaire's goal, but Trottier covering in front of the net. The puck hit him after it got by Riggin. Right here, there's Carpenter as he tries to take Trottier off balance. There's the puck. Trottier didn't see it until it hit him. Then he popped it into the net. 1922, a bad time for Washington to give up a goal. And you know how they got the goal? Remember last night when Larry Murphy jammed the puck around the boards and it went to the point, or on the way in from the point was Gilbert intercepting the errant pass. This time it was Gardner. Gardner shot the puck around the boards. It went right to Paul Baudelaire at the point, and Baudelaire let go with a beautiful shot. It was low, it was hard. Riggin got a piece of it, but it got in behind him where Brian Trottier was standing, and he easily slid it into the open net. Anders Kaller for the Islanders had a pretty good period, Jiggs. When the Islanders finally started to relieve some of the pressure, it was Kaller that did it. He gets around Rod Langway, as a couple of other Islanders have done in the game. He misfired on his backhand shot, but he got another opportunity right after that, right here. He put the puck between the legs of Gould, picked it up on the other side, and walked straight to the net. Riggin moved back, put the feet together, and as Kaller tried to pick the lower left-hand corner, Riggin shut it off, made the save.
Shots again by the Capitals, 8 by the Islanders, 5 in the first period. Game 5 of the series will be played at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum on Wednesday night. Should a sixth game be necessary, it would be here at the Capitol Center on Friday. We would have it for you on WOR, if necessary, on Friday night. And should it go the distance, 7 games, the concluding game of the series will be at the Nassau Coliseum on Sunday, Easter Sunday. Coming up tomorrow afternoon on WOR TV, opening day at Shea Stadium, the Mets, off to a great start, their best in many, many years, open up against the Montreal Expos. And you can catch that action tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 here on WOR. The Knicks in Detroit, the NBA playoffs, tomorrow night at 8. On Wednesday, the Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Another NBA playoff action, also at 8 o'clock. Thursday night, the Knicks in Detroit in Game 2 of the series. And as I mentioned, the Islanders and Washington on Friday night, if necessary. The Islanders did not have the benefit of a power play opportunity in the opening period tonight. Well, have a moment. Happy birthday. Barry Wurzel is 50 years old today. His son Mark, who's a student here in the Washington area, dropped by to say hello and wanted to pass along birthday wishes to his dad, Barry. Okay, Trottier at center ice. Helene on left wing. Bossy on the right side. Potvin and Lane on defense. Washington had Curry there to take the face-off, flanked by Duchesne and Francis Getty. And it was Francis Getty just leaning into Potvin with a heavy hit. Duchesne went to center one. Potvin got a piece of him. And Mats Helene comes away with the puck. Helene trying to come out on the right side. Was hooked up from behind. Goes down. The puck loose at the Washington line. Recovered by Duchesne. Duchesne got away from Lane's check. Francis Getty was in offside, and there's no further play. The Caps come out hitting at the drop of the puck, beginning the second period. Now Helene making an effort to get at Francis Getty, and they all converge just inside the Islander blue line.
Very explosive, this hockey game, Jiggs. Some of the frustration on the side of the Washington Capitals is that they can't get the puck in behind Billy Smith. Heavy hitting continues in the hockey game. Francis Getty took a run at Dennis Potvin a moment ago. Then Lane was right after he. And then Mats Helene was after Francis Getty.
And Gord Lane right in front of the Washington bench, delivering a message. I don't know if there are too many of his former teammates left with this hockey team. 158 different players over 10 seasons. Now Lane goes to the bench. Here's Duchesne coming in.
He's a good skater. Look at the balance. There's the leg goes out. Gordy Lane tried to get Duchesne, tried to knock him off balance. That play offside over on the far side above the picture. Washington Capitals trying to scramble back on side, but they were a little too late. Dennis Potvin. There's the check by Francis Getty on Dennis Potvin. A hard one.
Langway slaps the puck in wide of Smith. It's picked up by Baudelaire. Around to the left wing. Kaller has tipped it down into the Washington zone. Brent Sutter chases it, forcing Riggin to come out of the net. Let it go. Sutter picked it up. Oh, Nystrom is there in front of the net, but couldn't get control of it. Riggin was out of position, and the Islanders couldn't capitalize. This is Nystrom over the line, working on Langway. They run into one another. Greg Gilbert trying to take it away from Gustafson. It comes to the left side. Christian checked at center ice. Brent Sutter chases him to the boards. The puck goes loose. Trottier and Gustafson back of the net. Puck picked up. Eriksson rolled it out in front, and it hit Brent Sutter. Sutter starting into the center ice zone. Over the blue line with a slap shot. Riggin got in front of that. Brent Sutter works it to the corner. Greg Gilbert right up there with Murphy, and out come the Washington Capitals. Christian over the center ice strike. Into the Islanders zone. Drop pass. Brent Sutter had that one spelled out all the way, and the Islanders get a 2-on-1 break. Bossy racing it after the puck after it came off the boards. Takes it away from Murphy. Bossy comes out in front. The shot was blocked. Bossy down on his knees. Gives it to Trottier, and he hit the goal post. Trottier off the boards. Centers it back to the left point. Thomas Johnson into Mike Bossy, and the net has been knocked off its moorings. Play is called. Langway does force Gilbert into the crossbar and nudged the net up and off the moorings. Well, the Montreal Canadiens got a goal in the last minute of the first period to take a 2-0 lead over the Quebec Nordiques. Ryan Walter and Guy Carbonneau scored for the Canadiens. They were outshot in the first period 10-5. The trail, Montreal 2-0.
Montreal continuing, Jiggs, after they dominated and knocked off the Boston Bruins in 3 straight games. No one, I don't think, connected with hockey would have ever thought that was going to happen. Montreal, still a proud team, put up quite a battle, but to undo the Boston Bruins in 3 straight games, no one ever thought that would happen.
I don't think too many people thought that the Buffalo Sabres would go without a win in their series against Quebec. Not one victory as the Nordiques won it in 3 straight. Riggin just made a save following the face-off, and Bossy fires it in. Riggin knocked it out of the air. It's picked up by Blomqvist. Blomqvist into the center ice zone. Poke check by Morrow. The puck went to Duchesne to the right side. A drive by Curry, blocked by Smith, and the rebound was shoved wide by Jarvis. Morrow slaps it around the boards, down into the Washington end. Blomqvist chases it. Will get an icing call against the New York Islanders. There's a break in the action. 17 minutes, 37 seconds left in the second period. The Islanders lead the Capitals 1-0.
I was relaxing watching a really good movie the other night. And all of a sudden there's a commercial. And this announcer is screaming at me about some car sell-a-thon. You notice they don't say sale. They say sell-a-thon. That's exactly what it is. A big sell.
When your Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it.
If there's one thing I hate, it's a high-pressure sell.
Billy Smith goes to work again. The Washington Capitals penetrate the Islander defenses. There's the shot. Smith, look at the save. Look at the poise. Look at the balance as he holds himself in line. And Doug Jarvis fell as he tried to reach out and take the rebound. Washington get another opportunity, but the master, Billy Smith, does them in. Stops everything they bring to him.
Smith had given up 20 goals in 8 playoff games coming in, and the Caps just missed the net following the face-off. Gartner around to Haworth. Ersan ties him up. The puck still loose. They roll. Trottier comes out of the corner with it. Slipped it across to Gilbert off his stick and recovered by Blomqvist. Now to Stevens. Scott Stevens missed Haworth. The puck loose in the Islanders zone. Puffin will touch up. Icing was waved off. Comes back to the point. There's Blomqvist with a shot. That one off Carpenter and up into the seats.
Reason everybody pointing, Billy Smith included, off a Washington Capital. Bobby Carpenter, there he is, number 10. Beverly, Massachusetts is where he's from. That puck hit him in the arm, deflected into the seats. The Islanders wanted to make sure, but the face-off was going to be outside the blue line. Alan Haworth taken out by Stefan Pearson, and as Haworth tries to get away, tries to get loose, Pearson says, "You're not going anywhere. You're mine."
Now Flatley is out on the ice with Gilbert and Brent Sutter. Haworth ran into Pearson in the center ice zone, and the puck went loose. Puffin moves it up the boards. Blomqvist in from the right point. Dumps it around behind the net. And Flatley, oh, what a hit he took as he went for the puck. Haworth hammered him on the boards. Puffin, in the meantime, gave it to Brent Sutter. Over center ice. Shot it in wide. Flatley got an elbow up on Haworth. Now Flatley runs into Bloomquist in the Washington end, but the Caps have the puck. Haworth comes down left wing. Over the Islander line. Haworth put on the brakes, made the play. Flatley broke it up. At Flatley, with help from Brent Sutter, they have trouble clearing it out. There's Carpenter with a shot. Smith, the stick save, and it goes up into the seats.
Good shot by Bobby Carpenter. What a cool Billy Smith. He was in the right position up at the top of the goal crease. Just deflected it up into the seats with another good save.
Thursday night of this week, the New York Islander Booster Club holds its regular April meeting. 7:30 Thursday night at the Wheatley Hills Tavern. That's when Larry Brooks, Public Relations Director of the New Jersey Devils, will be the guest speaker. Wheatley Hills Tavern is on Post Avenue in Westbury. Regular Islander Booster Club meeting. A lot of members of the Brian Trottier fan club here last night, didn't they, Eddie?
Yes, they did. A lot of them came by to say hello. Wishing the team well.
Now the Washington Boosters trying to get the Capitals involved in this hockey game. To say that they haven't been, the Caps out shooting the Islanders 10-7, have had some great scoring chances, only to be thwarted by Bill Smith. Trottier got the draw back to Boudelier. Up the left wing to Kaller, relayed it behind Trottier, and Morrow moves up the right wing boards. To Trottier. Jarvis pushing on him. Trottier slipped the check, gave it to Boudelier. Paul Boudelier carries it into the Washington end of the ice. Comes to the boards, dumped it into the corner. Picked up by Lachlan, across to Sampson. Morrow has him lined up. Sampson missed the puck. It's loose. Nystrom goes into the corner along with Lachlan. Jarvis there as well. Jarvis got control of it. Turns to get away from Boudelier. Put it out in front off Bill Smith's stick. And it's picked up by LaFontaine. At LaFontaine down the right wing, working on the inside of Langway. Cuts in with a backhander. Good stick save by Riggin, and Langway has given it to the left side for Sampson. Now to Jarvis. He's over the line. Jarvis to Sampson. Sampson chased to the boards by Lane. The puck goes loose, and LaFontaine picks it up. His pass to Kaller failed to work at center ice. Peter Anderson over on the right side. Shot it around the boards. Washington in the middle of a player change. Here's Lane. Out to Nystrom. The pass across two lines is offside. There's a break in the action. Game 4 of the Patrick Division Finals. The Islanders lead the Capitals 1-0.
Come on, one more. No. For the championship of the entire civilized world? I'll pass. And the Michelob Light? I'll serve.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer?
Michelob Light for the winners.
It is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
I thought you were tired. Nope, just thirsty.
Michelob Light.
All set for a face-off just inside the New York Islander blue line. Al Arbor has sent Butch Goring to center ice. Wayne Sutter is on the right wing. Clark Gillies is on the left. Christian out with Gustafson and Erickson for Washington. Toward Lane to Potvin up the left side over the stick of Gillies. It's loose inside the Washington zone. Stevens goes after it. Goring in on one side, Wayne Sutter on the other to forecheck. The puck came loose. Wayne Sutter rolls it around the boards. Potvin will pick it up deep in his own zone. Kenny Potvin puts on the brakes. Up the left side to Clark Gillies. Now to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter over center ice. Across the Washington line. Goring heads for the front of the net. Sutter got the puck away from Stevens and then ran into the hit from Shan. Wayne Sutter trying to work it off the boards. To Goring, back of the net. Goring takes a look. Put it out in front. There's Gillies. Turns around. He scores! Gillies on the backhand. It's 2-0.
The Islanders penetrate Washington's end of the ice, and they do what they did at the end of the first period. They put it in the net. Clark Gillies, who for 5 straight games up until last night had gotten a goal and an assist. He continues again tonight to keep it going. Butch Goring, what a nice play to Gillies. Look at this. He turned around and just backhanded it right over the right shoulder of Pat Riggin. 2-0 lead now for the Islanders. There's the backhand shot, or the backhand pass. Gillies turned around quickly and slammed it into the net. Poor coverage by Washington, and the Islanders again take advantage of a mistake.
Wayne Sutter instrumental in keeping that puck in the Washington zone. Does not pick up an assist at this point. It reads Gillies from Goring at 5:33. The Islanders have built a 2-0 lead. Flatley, Brett Sutter, and Greg Gilbert, the Islander forwards. The Caps have just iced the puck. Morrow being chased into the end boards. Touched it before Gartner got there. Now Flatley comes in late. He draws the attention of Haworth. Carpenter and Janssen doing a little pushing off to the left side of your picture. And everybody has converged in the corner to the right of Bill Smith. Bobby Carpenter with a grip on the jersey of Dwayne Sutter. And you see where Sutter has hold of Carpenter, and the linesmen, Mitten and Scapinello, trying to pull them apart. Thomas is amused.
I think the players have done well, Jiggs, to keep their tempers to a minimum as far as outbursts are concerned. With all the heavy hitting in the hockey game, as we take a look at some of that heavy hitting, Gardner and Morrow, then Flatley, then Howard. Look again at that. It's a race for the puck. It was an icing, and you can see the right arm of Scampanello up in the air as Flatley runs into Gardner. That's where the pushing and shoving started from.
We have played 1 second less than 6 minutes of this second period. Brent Sutter on the draw. The puck went to Murphy. Turned at the side of the Washington net. Plays it across to the right wing, but nowhere near Gartner. Back comes Thomas Janssen. Janssen admits he had only a so-so season. He has had an excellent playoff, both in this series and in the series against the New York Rangers. He's leading all of the Islanders in the plus-minus area. Now Langway to the left side. Haworth played it just outside the line. Janssen unable to get it to Flatley. Gartner with it at center ice. To the left side, Haworth into the Islanders zone, but way offside as Carpenter a gun for a leisurely skate inside the blue line.
Taking away another offensive advance of the Washington Capitals, Bobby Carpenter. His mind maybe on something else. We're going to talk about the mind and how it operates in hockey games sometimes, Jiggs. Remember right at the beginning of the game, Al Arbour was making late changes. He's been famous for that over the years. Takes his time in doing it. Trying to upset the other coach a little bit. Get him to start thinking. Get him mad at Al Arbour. Get him to try and make one mistake that may cause a goal or a good opportunity for his hockey team. Al Arbour always working at every angle.
Francis Getty knocked down in the Islanders zone. Bill Smith played it around to the blue line. A long shot that went wide of the net as Francis Getty clogged things up in front with Persson. The Islanders have cleared it to center. Bloomquist back. Off the boards, right to Helene. He takes a hit. Curry picks up the puck. Francis Getty and Helene ready to go in front of the Islander bench. The play moves into the New York Islanders zone. Curry with the puck. Centered one just out of the reach of Stevens. Scott Stevens dropped it back to the point. Nobody had covered up for him, and here's Trottier with the puck. He's over the Washington line on right wing. Cuts to the inside. Lets it go. Riggin the pad save. Eitan Duchesne knocks it away from Bossy. Recovers at center ice. He and Francis Getty get over the line. The blind pass is picked off by Trottier, and they move up 3-on-2. Bossy is over the line. The pass to Trottier. Turns in front. Shot it wide on the glove side. Comes off the boards. Francis Getty chases it at center ice. Ward Lane slams Francis Getty into the boards in a hard check. Buffan picks up the puck back of the net. Out to center ice to Bossy. And shot it into the Washington zone. Right to Riggin. He fed it off to Shan. Haller in forechecking. Jarvis missed Haller. The puck goes loose. Anderson with it. The right side, Haworth to Jarvis. Breaks into the center ice zone. Doug Jarvis. Sampson trailing as Jarvis got over the blue line. Got away from a check. The shot, the backhander, hit Puffan. Puffan dumps it into the center ice zone. Shan handed it right back to the Islander captain. His pass went off Sampson. Picked up by LaFontaine. He gets over the line with a long shot that's grabbed by Riggin. Dropped it and played it to right wing. Greg Laughlin checked by Kaller. Anders Kaller kicks it into the corner. Nystrom in after. Put it out in front just out of the reach of LaFontaine. He was knocked down on a hit from Sampson. Jarvis clears it but not out. Morrow to LaFontaine. Put it in front of the net. That's cleared by Anderson. Morrow pinches in off the right point. Kaller over to help out now. LaFontaine picks up the puck. He is checked. Jarvis fires it around the boards and Smith will leave it. Thomas Janssen picks it up. Just over 11 minutes to play in the second period. Thomas Janssen works his way into center ice. Shot it around the boards. Regan unable to pick it up. Goes way out of the net to knock it away from Gillies. Now Gillies got it back from Goring. The return pass was blocked. Christian works it to center. Here's Murphy. To Gustafson. Back to Murphy. Murphy in deep. A backhander off the catching glove of Smith. Christian and Gillies go to the boards heavily, and Dwayne Sutter has cleared it down the boards away from Langway. The New York Islanders are going to be called for having iced the puck. There's 10 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second period. The score, the New York Islanders 2, the Washington Capitals no score.
Today, there's a new power on the road. The first Nissan 300ZX. 3 liters of fuel-injected turbo-thrusted V6 motion. 200 horses strong. The all-new Nissan 300ZX. It'll snap you from 0 to awesome.
Come alive, come and drive. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Backhand shot by Murphy. Billy Smith tipped it aside. Back to the live action.
The puck dumped into the Washington zone by Dwayne Sutter. Goring in after it. Slowed Murphy up. Now Dwayne Sutter runs into the Washington defenseman. Gillies over in the far corner. Knocked Haworth down. The puck came out in front of the net. Erickson fed it to center ice. This is Carpenter trying to get in around Pearson's check. Centered one. Smith makes the save and will cover up on the puck.
He knows when to hang on to it and when to keep it in motion. Time Billy Smith, Washington, trying to pick things up. They're trying to open the game up a little bit, Jiggs. They're starting to skate, starting to try and move the puck a little bit better. The Islanders maintain a defensive posture that Washington can't crack. Billy Smith in front of Dennis Potvin with Washington bearing down on him. Hangs on to the puck.
Now Al Arbor with Brian Trottier, Brent Sutter. Greg Gilbert, the other forward. Potvin and Pearson on defense. Gustafson centering for Gartner and Christian. The puck goes to Gartner, and a shot was right on Bill Smith. Pearson around to the left wing. Greg Gilbert, neat pass to Trottier. Across to Brent Sutter, works one-on-one with Stevens. Sutter's shot hits Stevens. He picks it up and fires, and it's under the pad of Regan.
Second effort by Brent Sutter, a good one. Stevens made the stop off his original shot, but the continued effort by Brent Sutter got him another shot at the net. Regan dragging his right pad along the ice, kept it there, made the stop. Here's the shot by Sutter. Stevens got a piece of it with his left hand. That's got to hurt. And look at the shot. Sutter, the concentration is there. Hard work is there as he got the shot away, forcing Regan to make the save.
Brent Sutter will take the face-off to the left of Pat Regan. Gilbert is on the right, Flatley on the left wing. The puck came back, but out of the reach of Pearson. A race for it. Up comes Gustafson. Pearson takes a look at the referee after knocking Gustafson down. There's no penalty call. The Islanders got away with one there. Potvin up to Brent Sutter. Relays it. Knocked down by Gartner. This time Sutter upends Gartner. Play goes on, and the fans really yelling and screaming now. Brent Sutter leads a 3-on-2 rush. Left side. Gilbert with the puck, but offside has been called. Some debris comes out of the stands. The Washington Capitals converge. You see them talking to the referee, and now Brian Murray showing his disgust. There's a break in the action. The Islanders are leading the Capitals 2-0.
Imagine life without the New York County business-to-business yellow pages.
Meat brokers, right?
Yes, meat broker.
Hoses.
Meat broker.
Rose, the meat brokers are at 307. 307?
307? 307's oscillators. I beg to differ. Winches are in 307. 605 is phones.
Meat broker. Luckily, you do have the 9X business-to-business yellow pages to find everything you need.
Aisle 40?
Down 12 aisles and take a left.
Turn right.
You're in aisle 2 now.
I think that's last year's map.
9X business-to-business for New York Telephone. Where would you be without it?
An incensed crowd here at the Capitol Center, thinking that the referee, Newell, should have called at least one of the 2 penalties they saw happen in front of them. First one a little questionable, but no question on the second one with Gardner being taken down. He was in a position to get a shot at the net, and that was taken away from him.
Carpenter went down over the stick of Morrow, and the crowd reacts to that. The Caps feel that they've got to get a power play here, obviously. They're jumping all over the place. The puck loose. Kaller picks it up. Wheels it on right wing. Anders Kaller puts on the brakes. Is down. Riggin out of the net. The puck comes back to Boudelier. Shot it in around the boards. Nystrom lets it come to the right point for Morrow. Into Kaller. Kaller centers it out in front. There's LaFontaine, and he shot it wide. Riggin did the splits. He may have hurt himself on that play as the Caps move over the Islander line. Haworth lets it go, and it missed the target. Comes off the boards. Nystrom slaps it to the point. There's Timo Blomqvist shooting it off the pads of Smith, and you can hear the leather pop up here. Carpenter with the puck now. To Haworth. Haworth to Eriksson. Comes out in front. The play broken up, and LaFontaine has it. He and Kaller move over center ice. Up comes Boudelier. LaFontaine unable to get around Blomqvist. Centers it. Boudelier is shot. Riggin the save. It was in the net. The light is on. It's 3-0. The referee did not make a call, but the red light is on. Nystrom was right there, and now the referee, yes, it does count. They've conferred with the goal judge. 3-0.
It had enough time to go in, Jiggs, and from our vantage point, I could not see it. But the reaction of the players will generally tell you, honestly, their reaction, their first one, whether it's in. There's the shot by Boudelier. Look at the reach back. You see the arm go back quickly? Good camera work. We appreciate it. You can see here the shot. That one didn't go in, of course, but the original one by Paul Boudelier had made it into the net. What happened was Riggin reached back in with his glove and scooped it out right there. You can see him reach back. Bob Nystrom, his reaction, the goal, the light on over top of the net, the red light, showing that the puck was in the eyes of the goal judge. There was no whistle on the play. The goal judge said it's in the net, and it's 3-0 now for the Islanders.
LaFontaine and Lane get the assists on Paul Boudelier's goal, coming at 11:35 of the second period. Well, the Capitals down 3-0 at home, trailing in the series 2-1 at the outset tonight. Now Lane going after the puck, a wrestling match going on up on the top of the circle to the right of the net. You see Trottier getting back to his skates, and referee Dave Newell will hand out some penalties.
Paul Boudelier, Jiggs, his first goal. Remember in the first period, Brian Trottier, the puck went off his leg. Boudelier with another good shot then. It hit Trottier, keeping it from going into the net. Trottier then tapped it in. Down at the other end here in the second period, his shot had enough momentum. It carried across the goal line to make it 3-0 with his first goal of the playoffs. Brian Trottier and Francis Getty get penalties right here.
They're both going off for high sticking. Penalties at 11:56. Something going on with fans at the side of the New York Islander bench, and the officials over there. I think somebody's being asked to leave the premises. Well, that's the indication.
Never like to see the fans get involved, Jiggs. Fans get incensed. They're allowed to. That's what this is all about. Their emotions, but not to participate in the game. Down around the bench, sometimes they thoughtlessly will throw things at players, trainers, coaches along the bench of the opposition, and that would not be tolerated.
Budweiser on one of the fans, and Jim Pickard has given him a towel to clean up with.
Don't spill it.
No, for heaven's sake, no. Potvin into the Washington zone, and Jarvis came back to pick up the puck. Trottier and Francis Getty sitting out high sticking penalties as Anderson moves over center ice into the Islander zone. Couldn't get through the defense, and Smith out plays it to the far corner. Butch Goring chases it. Christian lined him up. The puck is loose on the boards, recovered, and the centering attempt from Gustafsson was deflected to center ice. Langway, left side. Christian across the blue line, trying to move in front of the net, was checked, and Kaller has cleared it down the ice. Pat Riggin comes out of the net. That's a goal. Langway in, and he touched it before Kaller, so we do get the icing call against the Islanders.
The long reach of Rod Langway in front of Anders Kaller. You can see Riggin out standing there waiting to see who is going to win the foot race. That would determine as to whether or not he was going to shoot the puck away. Had Caller been able to get to it ahead of Langway, of course, then Reagan would have shot it around the boards to one of his teammates. 3-0 lead here. 7:15 remaining in the second period. Goals Trottier in the first period. Gillies and Boudelier here in the second.
The Islanders cannot relax. They had a 3-0 lead over the Capitals in Game 2. Capitals came back, made it a tight hockey game. In fact, it went to overtime. Caps tied it up. The benefit of 4 power play goals that night. You see Ray Scapinello, some instructions as they line up for the face-off. He's trying to back Goring up to the edge of the circle. Brent Sutter and Jarvis, and Goring stepped in front of Gartner after Jarvis had got the puck to him. Gartner battling into the corner, and Boudelier knocked it away from him, gave it to Goring. Goring into center ice, left side. Brent Sutter is across the line. The pass to Persson. He moves in with a drive. Riggin the save and just throws it across to Stevens. Scott Stevens to Jarvis. Into center ice. Shot it in between the defense. Caller goes back for it. Anders Caller winds up. Good speed as he comes out of his own zone. 3 Capitals back. He cuts to the left side to get over the blue line, trying to come in around Blomqvist. Got checked on the play. Blomqvist clears the puck to the right wing. So up come the Capitals. Gartner joined now by Jarvis. Gartner holds on to the puck. Missed Jarvis with the pass, and it's picked off by Caller. Anders Caller from center ice. Long shot blocked by Reagan. Blomqvist controls it now. The Islanders making player changes. LaFontaine has come out with Gilbert. Here's Carpenter over the line. Dances to the right wing side. Puts on the brakes. Fired one that hit Lachlan. Lachlan works it back of the net. Janssen comes in to pick it up. Thomas Janssen zigzagging to get away from Carpenter. Now to Morrow. Left side. Gilbert unable to move it out of there. Carpenter can't pick it up. Greg Gilbert stole the puck. And LaFontaine over center. LaFontaine across the line to Gilbert. Moves it in front. Shoots. That just went wide of the net. Trottier taken into the end boards. We've got another penalty call coming, but this time it'll be against the Washington Capitals. The Islanders get their first power play of the night. We'll return to the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland with the scores. The Islanders 3, the Capitals nothing.
Sometimes you feel real good when you know your car will perform well. Well, that's why stunt driver Buzz Bundy relies on mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline. For your everyday driving needs.
Penalty to Washington. Lou Francis-Getty gets a penalty for high sticking. The Islanders get their first power play opportunity. 5:46 remaining here in the second period. And the Islanders lead 3-0.
Trottier, Bossy, Gillies, Janssen, and Potvin. The puck cleared by Janssen to Potvin into the corner. Bossy couldn't get a stick on it. Langway does. Shot it around the boards. Janssen can't come over in time, and the Caps get a break. Curry across the line, and trouble controlling the puck. And Trottier was right on top of him in a hurry. Potvin ties up Duchesne in the corner. The puck went to the side of the net. Janssen to Potvin. Up to Bossy. Back to Denny Potvin. Potvin carries it into the center ice zone. Shot it in wide of Pat Riggin. Then Potvin goes to the bench and is replaced by Persson. Here's Gillies with the puck. Mark Gillies feeds Janssen. That's inside. Lets it go, and it just went wide. Persson around the boards. Gillies goes back of the net for it. Ran into Langway's check, and Gaetan Duchesne moves out on right wing and has forced the Islanders to recover deep in their own zone. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in this power play. The Caps have had 3. This is the first for the Islanders on the evening. LaFontaine carries it over center ice into the Washington zone. Goes to the right wing. Langway ties him up. The puck went loose for Gilbert. Back to Persson. Persson to Bossy, and went off his stick. Blomqvist knocked Bossy down. Gilbert picks up the puck. Greg Gilbert centers. LaFontaine couldn't shoot it home. Here's Boudelier at the blue line. Around the boards. Bossy lets it go to the corner. Gilbert comes in after it. Knocked it away from Blomqvist. And Langway for the Caps has given it to Doug Jarvis. Jarvis into center ice. Turns, rights the puck. Banks it off the boards. Smith cuts it off behind the net. Pearson will pick it up with 17 seconds left in the man advantage. Out of Boudelier. Boudelier to LaFontaine on right wing. He's across the line. Checked. Flatley picks up the puck. Pat Flatley fired it toward the net off the stick of Friggin. Gilbert got it out in front. Flatley went to the corner with it. Gave it to Boudelier. Now to Flatley. Pat Flatley into LaFontaine. Cuts in front of the net. Good play to Morrow. He shoots. Riggin the save. A loose puck is recovered by Francis Getty, who had just come out on the ice. Sampson down left wing. Checked by Flatley. And offside is called at the Islander blue line. We have 3 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the second period. With a break in the action, the Islanders lead Game 4, 3-0.
Nissan Turbo.
The all-new Nissan 200SX Turbo is looking for a few good drivers.
Hey, you're talking to me.
The 200SX Turbo, new fuel-injected engine and high-performance suspension. Major technology from Nissan.
Give me a turbo and I come alive.
Come alive, Turbo. Come and drive Turbo. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
Washington Capitals, as it gets down to the end of the second period, almost imperative for them to get something to bite into for the dressing room at the end of the period. They'd love to have a goal, something positive to talk about. So far in this hockey game, they haven't had anything. They've had chances, but they have no goals.
The Islanders are out shooting the Caps 16-12. Better description of what's happened here would be the fact that the Islanders are out shooting the Caps in this period 11-4. Wayne Sutter in to pick up the puck. Shot it around behind the Washington net. Goring stepped into Gartner. The puck comes up the right side for Anderson. He plays it behind the net. There's Morrow. Morrow and Lane on defense. Dwayne Sutter with Butch Goring and Clark Gillies, the Islander forwards. And the shot just went off Gartner's stick and wide of Smith. Clark Gillies ices it. Anderson puts a stick on it, and there's no further play. Montreal continuing to lead the Quebec Nordiques 2-0 in that game. They're in the second period at Montreal. Keith Acton has taken Minnesota to a 1-0 lead over the St. Louis Blues, and later tonight, the Edmonton Oilers at Calgary in Game 4 of that series.
In this hockey game, Jiggs, the Islanders have slowly taken it away from the Washington Capitals now. Play favoring the Islanders, not so much pressure on Billy Smith. Sure, that was the talk in the dressing room at the end of the first period. You can't rely on the goaltender to stop everything as Washington poured it on. Not so here in the second.
Haworth got it to Shand at the blue line. He shot it into the corner. Then Smith out of the net has cleared it, but not out. Shand moves in off the right point. Potvin picks up the puck. They gave it to Caller, to Trottier. Trottier gave it a hit by Haworth, and the puck went loose. Shand recovers. Steps in across the line. David Shand trying to make the play. Turns at the point. Gets checked, and the Islanders come up 3-on-2. Horrendous play from the Washington defenseman. Held on to it, and then ended up without it, and the Islanders had 3 men right there. The Caps. Shand, hand pass. He got it out of his own zone, gets the whistle, and an exhausted Dave Shand heads for the Washington bench. You folks have just over 2 hours in which to file your income tax, or get it in the mail at least. If you haven't done so, got yours in 18?
Yeah, mine's in, Jiggs. I do it fairly early. Some of the action, Shand with a hand pass to stop the play. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Islanders, is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Islanders is prohibited.
Must have a refund coming, huh?
If I do, it's not big enough to really jump up and down about.
Oh, darn.
It's just one of those times of the year you don't particularly look forward to, so you get it away and get it out of your way quickly.
There's Pearson. The puck knocked off the stick of Duchesne by Trottier. Stevens had trouble getting it to Curry. The Islanders forechecking Washington now. Not letting them get set up. Curry backhands it around the boards. Pearson chasing it. Duchesne into forecheck. Runs into Pearson. They tie up the puck back of the net. Potvin got it to Mats Hallin. Lane just dumps it out into the center ice zone. We have exactly a minute and a half left in the second period. Scott Stevens to Curry. His pass went off Helene's stick. Curry now to Duchesne. Right side, Francis Getty collides with Potvin. Potvin's helmet came off, as you see, and they're tied up on the boards. No further play. For those who joined us late this evening, the news came today of the death of Armand Potvin, father of the Islander captain Dennis and former Islander defenseman Jean Potvin, passed away in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. We do not have details of the funeral service. We do know that Dennis will leave the team and return to his home tomorrow.
Washington, Jiggs, back knocking on the door. For the last two shifts now, they picked up the pace, trying to force the Islanders back in, trying to get some opportunities to get some shots at Billy Smith. They haven't had many here in the second period.
No, they have not. In the period, the Caps have had only 4 shots at the net. Or on the net, at least. They may have had more than that. Several have missed. Morrow chasing the puck with Janssen. Jarvis into forecheck. It goes around the boards. Gartner over on right wing, lost his balance. Morrow tying up Jarvis now as they go to the corner. The puck came loose. Lachlan knocked down by Trottier's check. Lachlan back on his skates, trying to one-hand it out of the corner. Janssen ties him in a knot. Gartner gets bumped, and the puck rolls loose back of the net. Murphy in off the blue line, gave it to Lachlan. Morrow drapes him on the boards. Murphy has it again. Centers at the blue line. A drive from Jarvis, blocked by Trottier. Anderson came across. Jarvis unable to keep it in the Islander zone, and Trottier comes up with Goring. Goring takes Trottier's pass, works it on Murphy, a backhander. Riggin the glove save, throws it off for Gartner. Gartner checked in his own zone. Goring with a drive. Riggin the save, and he'll cover up on the puck. The Caps gave it away again, Eddie.
Sloppy in their own end of the ice, Jiggs. And even when they had the puck, this time down in New York's end of the ice, putting pressure on the Islanders, 3 forwards. All 3 forwards are in behind the net, battling for the puck. Nobody in front. If they do come up with it, there's nobody there to give it to. Little mistakes that are costly. Here's one that was almost costly. Goring loses his balance and lets the thing fly, forcing Riggin to make the stop, and then he had to hold on to it as Greg Gilbert was moving in, looking for a loose puck.
This crowd of over 18,000 has become very quiet, except for the odd air horn and some other folks yelling and screaming. But the Caps unable to get them revved up, nor were they able to get the Caps going in this hockey game. The Islanders, coming down to the end of 2 periods, have themselves a 3-0 lead. Langway dumped it into center, into the skates of Brent Sutter to Pat Flatley. He fires it back inside the Washington zone, and that will do it for period number 2. A period that sees the Islanders score twice and build themselves a 3-0 lead. Goals by Gillies and Boudelier in the middle period. The Islanders, with one of their better periods in this series. You think back to the series between the Islanders and the Rangers, and it would be one of their better playoff periods all the way around. The score after 2 periods, the Islanders up by 3 goals. Upcoming, the completion of our review of the history of the Washington Capitals as they build one of the poorest teams in the league to now a Stanley Cup contender. A lot of players, a lot of people involved in this franchise, but they have certainly started to turn the corner. After 2 periods, it's the Islanders 3, the Capitals nothing. Our intermission following these messages.
Canon is proud to be the official 35mm camera of the 1984 Olympics. Like gold medalist Frank Shorter, it takes a special breed to compete at this level. Here, the Canon AE-1 program performs. Shorter leaves the rest behind, but the AE-1 program catches him, computing as it's shooting.
And it practically runs itself, even with the flash.
Canon's AE-1 program, so advanced, it's simple.
What does it take to excel?
I know the deadline. You'll get it tomorrow.
It takes speed, reliability, economy. It takes express mail next day service from the post office. Our 2-pound pack is just $9.35 overnight, and we deliver over 95,000 packages on time every day.
Yes, we got them. Oh, and Jerry, thanks.
Express mail service. We deliver excellence for less.
You probably think a guy who does this for a living needs to shower with a deodorant soap. No way, because I made a break from deodorant soaps. A clean break with Ivory. Look, Ivory's a basic natural soap to give you an honest clean. Not like soaps that mix up clean with deodorants or heavy perfumes. Ivory gets me as clean as I can be. That's an honest clean.
Make a clean break with Ivory. No soap can get you cleaner, no matter what fancy stuff you try.
If you've been putting off those home repairs, or driving a car that's driving you crazy, you should get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York. We've got home improvement loans and loans for new and used cars, all at guaranteed fixed rates.
Goodbye, old clunker.
So say goodbye to just getting by with a guaranteed fixed rate goodbye loan, only from the Bank of New York. Call Action Phone and apply for yours now.
The Washington Capitals, who first joined the National Hockey League in 1974, were originally members of the Norris Division and did not join the Patrick Division of the league until 1979, when the league expanded to accommodate the 4 World Hockey Association teams, accepting them into the fold for that year. Gary Green was the coach of the Washington Capitals then, and with rookies like Mike Gartner and Ben Gustafson in the lineup, the Caps managed 70 points, but missed the playoffs by a single point in the standings. Gustafson, drafted from Sweden's national hockey team, had 21 goals in his second season in the NHL. And Mike Gartner, who'd played 1 year in the WHA before being drafted by the Capitals in 1979, had scored 48 goals, and the Caps had moved from last in the league to 17th. The following year, 1981-82, brought the highly touted American high school player, Bobby Carpenter, to the Caps. He was their #1 draft pick. He was 18 years old and fired 32 goals in his rookie season, but the Caps couldn't improve. Gary Green was fired, and Brian Murray took over 13 games into the season. Despite a 60-goal season by Dennis Marook, the Caps finished up with a record of 26 wins, 42 losses, and 13 ties, 65 points, and they still hadn't made the playoffs in their first 8 seasons. Then heavy financial losses were causing great concern. The team was for sale. Abe Pollin considered abandoning the franchise. However, several loyal fans got together in an effort to save the franchise, and by August of '82, the Caps had sold enough season tickets to stay alive. Probably the single most important improvement in the Capitals took place in that same month of August when David Poile was hired as general manager. David Poile had been an administrative assistant and assistant GM in both Atlanta and Calgary before accepting the challenge in Washington. Inside of a few days, he'd acquired all-star defenseman Rod Langway from the Montreal Canadiens. Poile also acquired Doug Jarvis and Craig Laughlin, along with Brian Engblom, another highly touted defenseman from Montreal. 2 Washington favorites, Ryan Walter and Rick Green, were sent to the Canadiens in one of the greatest trades in the history of hockey, and the Capitals were on their way. The team had drafted 18-year-old Scott Stevens, a promising defenseman from junior hockey. Stevens made the all-rookie team his first year and was 3rd overall in voting for Rookie of the Year. By the end of the 1982-83 season, the Capitals had amassed 94 points, only 2 less than the New York Islanders, and they'd made the playoffs for the first time, only to lose in 4 games to the eventual Stanley Cup champions. Dave Christian, a top forward with Winnipeg, was added for the 1983 season, with the Capitals giving up a first draft pick. And after a shaky start this season, Larry Murphy was acquired from the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for Brian Engblom. The Capitals had added an offensive defenseman, and the fortunes had turned. They battled the New York Islanders right down to the final weekend of the regular season to determine first place in the Patrick Division. And now here they are, challenging the champions for the right to advance to the Stanley Cup playdowns. The New York Islanders and the Washington Capitals. The Capitals, a great birth. And then the battle to survive and now become one of the legitimate contenders in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Islanders and the Capitals. Game 4 of the series will continue on WOR TV right after these messages.
Nissan Turbo.
The all-new Nissan 200SX Turbo is looking for a few good drivers.
Hey, you're talking to me.
The 200SX Turbo, new fuel-injected engine and high-performance suspension. Major technology from Nissan.
Give me a turbo and I come alive.
Come alive, Turbo. Come and drive Turbo. Major
at your Datsun dealer.
This Bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Hi, I'm Steve Wynn, and I run this place, the Golden Nugget. When I was a kid, I dreamed of growing up and having the most beautiful hotel casino in the world. This is the Golden Nugget of Atlantic City. It has everything. The penthouses in this hotel.
Which way is the showroom? That way. You're all right, baby.
And Frank Sinatra, too.
Golden Nugget, Atlantic City, Las Vegas.
I know. These are for typing that report. Again.
Miss Smith, please type in one itsy bitsy change, please.
No matter what type of boss you have, with a Panasonic 708 electronic typewriter, you won't have to retype. Its 8K memory stores what you've typed. Type in the corrections, and it does the retyping for you. So when your boss requests the word,
Where's that
letter?
Thank you.
It's time for a Panasonic.
At Morse Business Machine Corporation in Westchester.
Game 4 of the Patrick Division Finals here on WOR TV, and after 2 periods, the New York Islanders are leading the Washington Capitals by a score of 3-0. In the second period, the Islanders dominated, outshooting Washington by a margin of 13-4. So over 2 periods, the shots on goal favoring the Islanders, 18 shots to 12 by the Capitals. It was 1-0 going to the second period. Clark Gillies turned around and backhanded the puck by Pat Riggin at 5:33. Butch Goring had played it to him from behind the Washington net. Gillies with his 3rd playoff goal, and the Islanders led 2-0. Then at 11:35, Boudelier with a drive from the blue line. Riggin appeared to have it, although he had to reach behind him. The puck was across the line. So Boudelier gets his first playoff goal from LaFontaine and Lane, and the Islanders are staked to a 3-0 lead. Up 3-0 at the end of 2 periods. Eddie Westfall is down in the studio area. Darren Veach, an outstanding Washington defenseman who had played so well for them at the beginning of the series, then suffered an injury, some stretched ligaments, is with Eddie. Let's join them. 18.
Thank you, Jiggs. As you had mentioned, Darren Veach is with me, and if the Washington Capitals were having problems with the New York Islanders, they have more with the talents of Darren Veach sidelined with a knee injury. And Darren, let me just quickly ask you about the injury, because I was sitting there, it happened right in front of me, and it didn't look like at the time that you would be injured, but obviously when you couldn't get up, that was not the case.
Yeah, all I was doing was trying to dump the puck in. I was going down 1-on-2 on the 2 defensemen, Potvin and whoever his partner was, and I went down, I took the shot at the blue line, and all of a sudden Goring came across. I had all my weight on my left leg, and he just took my leg out from under me, and when I got hit, I knew I was hurt, so I just stayed down. And that's about it.
Do you get the feeling that your Washington Capital team could be ahead 3-0 by now?
We've played really well against the Islanders. We won the first game in there, then we came out in the second game, got off to a slow start and came back and tied it up, turned it into one of those games where it's anybody's game. We could have won that one, and then last night we outplayed them, I thought, and just couldn't put the puck in the net. Billy Smith was tough, and tonight's a little bit of a different story. The Islanders are playing really well, and we've had a little bit of a tough time getting going.
Darren, how frustrating is it to the team? How much of a feeling do you get that there is frustration on the side of the team, even starting tonight's game?
Well, I think the only way we're frustrated is that we're just not putting the puck in the net. We're not getting a lot of second shots. The Islanders' defense is clearing the front of the net. So Smith is seeing just about every first shot, so he's not giving up a lot of rebounds. You know, it's tough. It's tough when you can't score, and I think it's, frustrating.
Are the Washington Capitals playing to their game plan? Was it the plan of the Washington Capitals to put a lot of pressure on the Islanders right at the beginning of a hockey game and try and maintain it?
We want to put a lot of pressure on their defense. We don't want to give them time to set up behind the net, because they do move the puck well. Dennis Potvin really passes well, and just about all their defensemen really move well. They're really mobile. And it's, try not to let them set up and try to stay even going into the first, second period, be even with them, and then go into the third and try and win it there.
With the game now here, 3-0, what would you like? Is there something you'd like to see the team, obviously score goals, but is there a change you'd like to see the team make now, down 3-0 here in their own building?
Well, we're going to have to start taking chances. We're going to have to start pinching our defense, I think, and just shooting the puck and hitting the net as many times as we can.
Darren, talking about shooting the puck and hitting the net, the Islanders didn't get that many shots in the early part of the period, and yet they shot the puck and hit the net. I was thinking more about Paul Boutelier's shot that Brian Trottier converted into a goal. Must be tough for you as a defenseman sitting looking at the game and seeing that kind of a thing start to build, and you can almost guess what's going on.
Oh, you can see all the mistakes when you sit in the stands, but I think what they're doing, they don't get quite as many shots as we do, but they take advantage of their situations.
There's a taking advantage of situations. That puck was in the net. Now, I don't know whether you were watching it on television or whether you're watching the game live, Darren, but that puck, I guess, got across the goal line before Pat Riggin got his hand on it, and then he scooped it out. Did you see it?
Yeah, well, I was watching it on the TV screen in the dressing room. I couldn't tell whether it was a save or not. I was hoping it was a save, but I guess the goal judge called it as a goal, so, you know, it was pretty hard to tell from where Dave Newell was, too, so, because he had to ask.
The reaction of the players, does that really tell you anything? When you're watching, in other words, in a goal like that, you could see the reaction of the Islanders as the puck got close to the net. Does that give your gut feeling saying, oh, no, it might be in?
Yeah, you know, I thought, geez, that might be in, because I seen Nystrom point at the puck, and he pointed at the goal judge, and, you know, that's a good sign, but, you know, you never know.
Darren Veach, I thank you for the visit. We'll hope that you'll get back into this series. If you don't know exactly how long it'll be, we'll only hope that you'll get back in and give us some more of that great talent of yours.
Thank you very much.
Darren Veach, the fine defenseman of the Washington Capitals, out, of course, with an injury. Now let's go back up and join Jiggs McDonald.
Thanks, Eddie. Tonight's guest will receive the original members-only strap collar jacket. It's today's most exciting, most wanted jacket. Members only. When you put it on, something happens. Available at fine stores everywhere. The Islanders leading the Washington Capitals 3-0. We'll be back for the start of the third period. But first, we pause for these messages.
What does it take to excel? It takes speed, reliability, economy. It takes express mail next day service from the post office. We'll deliver your urgent packages overnight. And our 2-pound pack is just $9.35, about half what most others charge. So next time, use the service that delivers over 95,000 packages on time every day. Express mail service. We deliver excellence for less.
If doing business around the world takes too much time, discover the AT&T International Business Network.
Mr. Columbus!
With AT&T, you can reach decision makers everywhere quickly.
Queen Isabella?
Attend an international teleconference.
Her Majesty's?
But where are you?
Without leaving the U.S. Send exact copies of key documents internationally in minutes using fax.
I'm not in the East Indies?
The most cost-effective way, the AT&T International Business Network.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You want to go to the moon? Do you want to go to the moon?
Lift off.
Why trust moments like these to anything else? Introducing Kodak Videotape. It captures the sights and sounds of every moment with color that's beautifully accurate, unmistakably Kodak.
Beam me up, Mr. Spark.
When the moment means more, tape it and keep it on Kodak Videotape.
Attentively Hyatt. Graciously Hyatt. Efficiently Hyatt. Excitingly Hyatt.
Wish you were here.
Uniquely Hyatt.
Wish you were here.
Impressively Hyatt.
We're gonna make your stay a pleasure in every way. And we wish you were, wish you were, wish you were here. For attention.
Unmistakably.
Hyatt.
Teams are back out on the ice as we get ready for the third period. The Islanders leading the Capitals 3-0. Paul Boutelier with a goal and an assist tonight. Ryan Trottier opened the scoring in the first period. Mark Gillies made it 2-0 at 5:33 of the second, and then Paul Boutelier's goal at 11:35 as the Islanders up 3-0. The Caps are 0 for 3 with the power play. The Islanders are 0 for 1, and Al Jensen has gone into play goal for the Capitals here in the third period. You see the Caps in the end of the ice nearest to you warming up Al Jensen. The Islanders had scored only 3 goals on Pat Riggin prior to tonight's game. They get 3 in the first 2 periods, and it's time for Al Jensen to go to work. He had started game 2. Was lifted. He played game 1, which the Capitals won, and then was lifted in the second game when the Islanders had taken a 3-0 lead over the Washington Capitals. Actually, I guess it was a 4-2 lead when Mike Bossy's third playoff goal came at 13:39 of the opening period. Pat Riggin went in to replace Jensen, and Riggin got the start last night and again tonight, and now it's Jensen's turn once more.
I suppose what the thinking would be behind this, Jiggs, would be a new start. It's a new period. The team is down 3-0. They haven't been able to score through the first 40 minutes of the hockey game, so put in another goaltender. Maybe the players will reload and maybe play the kind of a period they played in the first period and get a little luckier against Billy Smith, who is being very stingy, to say the least.
He is right on top of his game. He was brilliant in the series when the Islanders defeated the Rangers. Best of 5. It's been sensational in both games here in Washington. It was the same his game. He was brilliant in the series when the Islanders defeated the Rangers. Best of 5. It's been sensational in both games here in Washington. It was the same story at the Nassau Coliseum as well in the series. He has kept the Islanders' drive for 5 alive.
I like that, Jiggs.
Game 5 of the series, Thursday night at the Nassau Coliseum.
It's very poetic.
And if necessary, we will be back here at the Capitol Center in Landover on Friday night. We'll have that action for you on WOR. And again, I repeat, if necessary, game number 6 would be Friday night. The Capitals, with 20 minutes remaining in regulation time here tonight, you know that they have to get something going in this period if they're to get anything, not only out of this game, but out of this series.
They fall behind, excuse me, 3-1 to the Islanders going back to the Nassau Coliseum. It would not look good for the Washington Capitals. By no means would they be out of it, but the defending Stanley Cup champions not giving up any goals. They would not be giving up any more at home than they would here on the road.
At Montreal, the Canadiens were leading Quebec 2-1. And at St. Louis, Minnesota was leading the Blues 2-1. Here, the Islanders begin the third period with the Caps controlling the draw, but Duchesne checked at the blue line, and Langway shoots it in around the board. Smith cuts it off. Francis Getty went in after it, and Buffan knocked it away from him. Around a counter, and Langway has it at center ice. The Francis Getty went off his stick, trying to cut in. Over Bossy's stick, down to his knees, and the fans screaming about that. Murphy on the right wing boards. He is checked. Galler can't move it out. Trottier gives chase. Ryan Trottier up the left wing, stolen by Murphy, but cleared by Potvin to Galler and across to Bossy. Bossy working on Langway, elected to shoot it in. Jensen left it for Gaetan Duchesne. Plays it to the right wing, and Murphy carries it back deeper. They gave it to Langway. Up the left side, shot into the Islanders' zone by Gustafson. Gartner into forecheck. Boudelier dumps into center right. Shand across to Stevens. Scott Stevens shoots it high in the air into the Islander territory. That's Boudelier. Around to the far corner for Pat Flatley. Flatley played it off Gustafson's stick. Stevens recovers at center ice. He's over the line with a pass to Gartner. A slap shot. Smith the stick save. Boudelier works it to the left wing side. Gilbert checked on the boards. A long shot from Christian was blocked by Smith, and Flatley recovers. He gave it to Boudelier. Gilbert relays it into the center ice zone, and Stevens comes back. Stevens falls. Gilbert picks up the puck. He's over the line. Gilbert can't get the shot away. Shand just slowed him up enough to make the play for the Capitals, and here's Christian. Dave Christian to the left side to Gustafson. Now Stevens with it. Shot it to center ice where Goring knocked it down. He took a hit from Gartner, and Blaine Sutter forces the Caps to cover up in their own end of the ice. David Shand gave it to Gustafson. Comes around to the right side. Lachlan tied up in the corner. Gillies put it out in front. Wayne Sutter on the short side. Robbed by Jensen. There's Goring, and he backhanded it wide. Lane in off the right point. Plays it back of the net. Goring snuck back there but couldn't pick up the puck. Shand moves it up right wing. Jarvis lost it to Potvin, and the Islanders have shot it in offside.
Washington started with a pretty good flurry, Jiggs. Scott Stevens now wants a piece of Dwayne Sutter. Sutter taunting him. Stevens really upset. Randy Mitten, the linesman, tries to keep up with Stevens, tries to keep some distance between he and Dwayne Sutter. There's Flatley as he took the feet out from underneath Scott Stevens a moment ago as Stevens turned at his blue line. With all the things going on, Al Jensen signaling to the linesman that there's a broken stick down at Washington's end of the ice.
You talk about determination. The young man just seething over on that Washington bench. The Islanders know that they have a victim there. If they can get him mad enough, he'll take some penalties that will force Langway to play an awful lot. It's not so much what the Islanders can do on the power play, but again, wearing down Rod Langway. He gets a lot of ice time, and Brian Murray's not too happy either. The Islanders dump the puck in around the boards. Nystrom goes in after it. Poked it into the corner, but now play has been called. Lane involved in something with Anderson, apparently, and Dave Newell is going to send them both to the penalty box. Ward Lane playing in place of Dave Langevin tonight. He and Anderson go off. There's a break in the action. The Islanders are leading the Washington Capitals 3-0.
New York County, number 24, Gordon Lane, filling inside City.
Nissan Turbo. Just unleashed and looking for action. Nissan's all-new 200SX Turbo. Turbo? You're talking my language. It powers through curves with fuel-injected confidence. Hugs the highway with high-performance suspension. The 200SX Turbo by Nissan. Toss me the keys.
Come alive, Turbo. Come and drive Turbo. Major motion from Nissan.
At your Datsun dealer.
To the Islanders, Gord Lane, and to the Washington Capitals, Anderson. High sticking for both of them.
Penalties come at the 2:27 mark. Haworth just gave the puck to Langway, and a shot from the point is grabbed by Smith. Dropped it for Persson. Right side to Trottier. Now to Boudelier. Across it goes, and intercepted by Haworth. Back to Langway. Now to Carpenter, knocked it out of the air, pulled it away from Bossy's check, comes over the line, gave it to Haworth. Haworth to Carpenter, Smith down, loose puck. And they had a chance, but a great play. Trottier's going to go off for tripping. He came back and took Haworth down. Smith was already down on the deck. You see where he is. And it's still 3-0, but now the Capitals will get their fourth power play of the night.
It's a good penalty for Brian Trottier to take, Jiggs, because Haworth was going to put it in the top of the net. Billy Smith was down. Here's how the play started. There's the play by Haworth. There's the stop by Smith. And as Haworth heads for the net, you see where the puck is. He had the top of the net to put it in. Brian Trottier took him down, took a penalty, unnecessary penalty, preventing a goal by the Washington Capitals. Right here, you see Haworth went to put it in. Brian Trottier took him out. That ended the play. Washington get a power play now. They'll have 4 skaters against 3.
Those 3 Islander skaters are going to be Puffin, Borrell, and Brent Sutter. Gustafson and Christian, the Washington forwards. Langway and Murphy on defense. Sutter got the face-off to Morrow, and he has cleared it down the ice. First man back is Murphy. Across to Christian, comes over center ice into the Islanders zone, pulling to right wing. Tried to slip in around Puffin, lost the puck, and Puffin has cleared it.
Just one move, too many, Jake, sometimes with the Washington Capitals. That time, Christian had 2 or 3 different things he could have done with it. He ended up doing nothing, and Dennis Potvin smartly took it away from him.
Now Murphy into the Islanders zone. Potvin had fallen. Murphy checked by Goring, and the puck is loose out at the center ice zone. Nothing going right for the Capitals at the moment. Langway is over the line. Right side to Christian. Had to go to the corner to pick up the puck, and Potvin hung right with him. Now Christian comes out of the corner, backhanded it. Gustafson moves in around the defense, lost his balance and went down. Morrow just got enough of him. Morrow was down on the deck, and he's played it up left wing now for Goring, who gets in over the line. Works on Murphy, who just did make the check at the last second. Now Langway comes back. Rod Langway into center ice. 17 seconds left in the penalties to Lane and Anderson. Langway parked inside the line. Gustafson across to Christian. Back to Langway. Now to Gartner. Gartner goes in deep. Makes the play across. Christian knocked it down, then shot it high, and it ends up in the seats.
Washington coming close, but they're not coming any closer than they did back in the first period. Islanders get sticks and bodies in front of pucks, deflecting them wide, or if Washington get it through, Billy Smith is there to make the stop. Frustration has to bound now on the bench of the Washington Capitals. Look at here. Look at the trip up here. That was Ken Morrow. He went down looking for a shot from Ben Gustafson. Look at the right leg as he goes out. That's got to be a penalty. It's a scoring attempt by Washington taken away from them. A break in the action here with the Islanders 3, the Capitals nothing. We'll return in a moment.
Of the best-selling motor oils today, 14 now save gas. But only one saves gas. Offers cold weather starting down to 35 degrees below zero. And the best engine protection under extreme heat. In fact, the best engine protection you can give your car. Only one. Mobile One.
Have taken their 30-second timeout. And now they get ready for the face-off in the circle to the right of Bill Smith. Brent Sutter will take the draw against Bobby Carpenter. Lachlan is the other Washington forward. Potvin just waved toward the penalty box to Gord Lane. And Lane has stepped out on the ice. They've cleared the puck around the boards and down into the Washington zone. Lane heads for the players' bench, and out comes Anders Kaller. 22 seconds left in the Washington power play. Anderson works his way to center ice. Backhanded it in off Brent Sutter's skates. Smith left it for Persson up the wing, held in by Anderson to the corner. Lachlan trying to make the play. Gave it to Carpenter, back to Anderson. Over to Stevens. Stevens a drive. Smith got enough of that, and it comes up the left wing, held in by Anderson. Peter Anderson into the corner. Back of the net. Lachlan trying to stuff it out in front. They do, and it's in the net. Carpenter.
They finally took advantage of a break with the sides even. The players all back onto the ice. The Washington Capitals. Bobby Carpenter standing right in the crease, or at the top of the crease, gets a loose puck and puts a backhand shot in, and Washington have a new breath, a new life, a new goaltender, and it's 3-1. Let's take a look at how it happened. There's Carpenter in front of the net. There's the loose puck. He poked it away from the grasp of Billy Smith. He put it in the net, and it's 3-1. Carpenter with a good move. Let's take a look. That's Anderson as he passed it behind the net. There's the play in front by Lachlan was behind the net and made the play in front that Carpenter converted. Big goal here for Washington.
And that is Carpenter's first goal in the playoffs. LaFontaine in forechecking, along with Lane and Nystrom. Nystrom dumped it to the corner. LaFontaine after it. Jensen out of the net. Stick up on LaFontaine. He's knocked down. Bloomquist right on top of him. Helene picks up the puck. Backhands one that was blocked. Nystrom unable to recover the rebound, and Gartner breaks out to center ice. Lane is back. 2-on-1. Gartner to Gustafson. He shoots. Oh, what a stop. They score in the rebound. Smith made the original save, and Christian put it into the net. It's 3-2.
Pandemonium has broken out here. These fans have had nothing to cheer about. They do now. Dave Christian finished off. What a move by Gustafson. Back at his own blue line to string away with Gardner. And from there, all kinds of excitement. Here's Gardner. He faked, made the pass. Look at the move by Gustafson. What a play by Billy Smith. He couldn't control the rebound, and it's in. Christian has made it 3-2, converting a play. Here, look at the stop by Billy Smith. I don't believe he made that save, but he did. He was out of the net when Christian came in and put it open net. How about that Billy Smith? Boy, I'll tell you, he'd shoot or die, I think, than give up a goal.
You've got that right. Christian's 4th goal of the playoffs. Gustafson and Gardner get the assist. It came 34 seconds after Carpenter and made it 3-1. So now the Islander lead is only 1 goal in this capacity crowd with a standing ovation for the Washington Capitals. Carpenter from Anderson and Lachlan at 5:05. Now Christian from Gustafson and Gardner at 5:39. Trottier and Persson in defense. Trottier, Keller and Bossy the forwards. Trottier played it to right wing. Bossy works his way in. Is grabbed by Langway, and the Caps come up with the puck. Here's Curry. Curry shot it into the Islander zone. Smith out of the net. Plays it to the corner for Persson. Up the wing. It was blocked, however. Taken by Bossy. Mike Bossy gets away from the check of Francis Getty. Sends Keller in on left wing. Keller a slap shot. That was deflected wide by Bloomquist, and Scott Stevens unable to pick up the puck. He went looking for Trottier and his teammates back to help out. Curry. Long pass off Francis Getty. Smith out of the net, missed it. Francis Getty centers. Smith makes the save and leaves it for Boudelier. The Caps with new life and taking the play to the Islanders. Boudelier gave it to Persson. Shot it around the boards. It comes to the blue line. Bloomquist picks it up. Demo Bloomquist trying to work in on the left wing. Gets checked. Anders Keller dumps it out to center ice. Trottier can't get around Lachlan. Here's Stevens. Stevens is checked by Boudelier. Loose puck goes to Jarvis. Jarvis has to wait for Stevens to get back on side. Waited long enough, apparently, but Brent Sutter stole the pass. Sutter at center to Flatley. He's across the Washington line. Flatley went to center one. He took a hit from Stevens. Flatley with the puck again. Unable to get it to Gilbert, and up they come. This is Sampson. Sampson's pass blocked by Flatley. Lachlan is checked at center. Now shoots it in offside, and there's no further play. Just a little less than 13 minutes remaining in regulation time. A pile-up in front of the Islander bench, but a break in the action as well. The Islanders are leading 3-2.
You can't build a bike for the Olympics by machine. Each tube's got to be custom fit to transfer weight into forward momentum. After all, a champion should ride a champion.
To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic effort, this Bud's for you.
Now we hope you're enjoying it just half as much as these folks are watching it in person at the Capitol Center. That man is not enjoying it. You see him trying to get his team. Slow it down a little. Slow it down seemed to be the indication of that hand gesture, Eddie.
That's exactly. Good point, Jiggs. What he's trying to do is calm the team down. What he needs is somebody to take charge, something just to delay the action. That's exactly what they're trying to do now. Dave Newell is telling Paul Boudelier, knock it off. We got to get this game going. Washington want to keep the momentum that they just gained in 2 goals, 34 seconds apart. Carpenter and then Christian, they want to play hockey.
Haworth complaining. Chewed up a little bit of more time. And now the Caps get the draw. Murphy up the right side. Haworth chasing it. Boudelier knocked it away from him. Carpenter tried to stay on side. Gave it to Murphy. He shot it in around the boards. Smith played it away from Morrow to Dwayne Sutter. Up to Paul Boudelier. Tries the opposite side, and Gillies has to come back for the puck. Mark Gillies failed to clear it out. Here's Carpenter. Boudelier knocked it away from him. Murphy held it in. Over to Erickson. His slap shot missed the net. Haworth in the right wing corner. Back of the goal. Carpenter went to center one out in front. It's loose in the far corner. Murphy is in deep. Larry Murphy into the face-off circle. Then he shot it wide of Smith. Gillies and Haworth collide. Gillies with the elbow up. Boudelier with the puck. Pokes it to Goring. Couldn't clear it out. Here's Murphy. And Morrow moving up, broke up the play. Wayne Sutter is taken off the puck at center ice. Back come the Capitals. Murphy is over the line on right wing. Shot it high. Eddie Morrow picks it up, fires it off the boards, but play has been called.
High stick, Jiggs. The puck was high in the air. The Islanders touched it. That's when the whistle has come. With all the noise here, sometimes it's difficult to tell if the whistle is blown or not.
Yes, this crowd had become very, very quiet, especially after Boucher's goal midway through the second period, of really back behind the Capitals once more.
The Capitals, whatever their game plan, I suppose it's just put all the pressure you can on the Islanders and finally put some pucks in the net and paid off. One came from a scramble around the net, something they've never been able to do, and the other a wide open affair with Gustafsson, Gardner teaming up, and Christian finishing it off on the rebound.
They've outshot the Islanders 7-1 to this point of the third period. Keller breaks out on the left side into the Washington zone. Was slowed up by Shand, and Langway came over. Trottier and Langway in the corner. Shand moved in to pick up the puck. Couldn't clear it out. Potvin dumps it to the corner. Trottier to Keller. Shand ties him up. The puck comes loose. Trottier slaps it up the right wing boards. Picked up by Gartner. Out to Jarvis at center ice. Out of Gustafsson. He's into the Islanders zone. Trailer pass. Jarvis steered to the corner by Trottier's check, and Potvin clears it but not out. Now comes back to Shand at the point. Over to Langway. Langway's shot off Bossy's stick. That ends up in the seats behind Bill Smith. 11 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the third period. 3-2, the Islanders leading. Both teams making some player changes. I remind you again that Game 5 is at the Nassau Coliseum on Wednesday night. If a sixth game is necessary, it's here in Washington at the Capitol Center on Friday night. And we would have it for you on WOR TV.
Coaches will be making changes as quickly as they can, Jake. It's at this point in the hockey game they do not want tired players on the ice. That generally leads to opportunities for the opposition.
Morrow with the puck following the draw. LaFontaine out with Flatley and Greg Gilbert. The Islanders into the center ice zone, but the puck went loose. Recovered by Stevens. Christian checked by Janssen. And Gilbert couldn't get LaFontaine loose. Backing into his own zone, Blomqvist played it but not out. Gilbert centered one in front, steered aside by Jensen as he stuck the left pad out. Haworth moves down left wing over the Islander line. Haworth trying to cut inside, was checked by Morrow. The puck underneath Haworth, picked up by LaFontaine. He comes down the left wing for the Islanders. The pass to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert pulls to the left side, holds onto it. Makes the play, dumping it into the corner to LaFontaine. Center out in front, they couldn't get a stick on it. Gilbert does, he's upended. Play goes, now there will be a penalty to the Washington Capitals. Timo Blomqvist will get the gate for tripping.
I don't believe that. He's going to call that penalty after what he's let go, but he's going to. He's called a good game to this point, but Newell has called a penalty for tripping on the Washington Capitals. A break in the action here, and lots of it. With the Islanders 3, the Capitals 2 will return in a moment.
When your Buick dealer gives you a price, believe it. The new front-wheel drive Buick Skyhawk, equipped the way a Buick ought to be, is only $8807. And that price includes all these extras. Power steering, power brakes, automatic transmission, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, even front and rear carpet savers. We've made sure the 8807 includes a lot of Buick comfort and convenience as well as quality. If you price a Buick, you'll buy a Buick.
Penalty called on Timo Blomqvist, a tripping penalty in front of his own net. There's no question it was a trip. I'm a little surprised that Dave Newell opted to use that one to make his first call in quite a while.
So the Islanders with the power play. Trottier, Keller, and Bossy, Pearson and Potvin, and the puck has been cleared down the ice. Smith out of the net. He'll leave it for Potvin. Duchesne in very quickly. Potvin with the puck starts out. He's into center ice, right side, but just out of the reach of Bossy. He chases Langway deeper. Langway, bad play as Keller came in. It comes loose in the right wing boards, and there's Duchesne. Failed to dump it out. It's underneath Denny Potvin. He and Duchesne down on the ice. We're going to face off inside the Washington blue line.
Good opportunity here for the Islanders, Jiggs, to change the flow. They've been backing up here for quite a while now, as the Washington Capitals have scored 2 quick goals in the first half of the third period.
34 seconds apart. Carpenter at 5:05. Christian at 5:39. Minnesota's taken a 3-1 lead over St. Louis. Montreal leads Quebec 3-2. Same score here. The Islanders 3, the Caps 2, and each team with 20 shots on goal. All set now for the face-off. Curry against Trottier. Went to the skates of Bossy, hooked it back to the point, but Puffin had moved in and now has to hustle back. Over to Persson. Shot it in around the boards. It goes to Bossy on the left side to the corner for Trottier. Trottier to the opposite corner. There's Kaller with it. Anders Kaller trying to get away from Curry's check. Stevens moves over on him. The pass went to Trottier, was taken away from the play by Curry. And up comes Scott Stevens. Into the Islanders zone. Stevens can't cut around Persson. Trottier takes it off the board. Sends Kaller into center ice. It rolled off his stick right to Stevens. Persson ties up Stevens. And Puffin will go back for the puck. Gave it to Persson. Stefan Persson lugs it into the center ice zone. Fed it to Trottier on left wing. He's over the line. Trying to work in on Shan. The puck went loose. There's Langway back of the net. Up the boards, but off some skates, right to Bossy, in front to Gilbert. He shoots, hit the crossbar. Oh, my. The Capitals come out to center ice. Jarvis with it. Half a minute to kill in the penalty against Bloomquist. So he just dropped it back to Langway. Now out to Duchesne. Duchesne bothered at center ice by Brent Sutter. Tried to cut around him, could not. Drops it back into his own zone for Langway. Now to Duchesne. Duchesne to the Islander line. Turns once more. Gave it to Christian, who was open on right wing, and Gilbert picked it up. Greg Gilbert. 3-on-1 as they come over the line. Gilbert trying to make the play. It hit Langway. And Murphy has the puck. Bloomquist is back on. The lead pass just out of the reach of Bloomquist. Smith covers up on it on top of the goal crease, and there's no further play.
Standing ovation for the penalty killers of the Washington Capitals. A vibrant crowd here. Beautiful to see. And at place, at one time, the owner was going to let the team go. Wasn't going to keep it. Right back Washington. There's Bloomquist, number 17. Billy Smith grabs the puck and smothers it. Bloomquist coming out of the penalty box after serving his tripping penalty, and it's Washington Capitals doing a fine job killing it off. How about Greg Gilbert, though? He had a good opportunity. He made the right move. He made the right shot. Fractions of an inch from going in. It hit the crossbar just to the left of the goaltender, Al Jensen. Thinking about Jensen being in the nets, replacing Riggin. Remember right near the end of the second period, Riggin stretched out to make a save, and he got up very slowly, Jiggs, and we both commented about the fact that he was getting up slow and that he may have hurt himself. Probably that was the reason he didn't continue.
That was just before the goal by Boudelier. And by the way, there is an assist change on that goal, the third Islander goal. It now reads Boudelier from LaFontaine and Nystrom. Caps tried one of those wraparounds. It didn't work. Morrow to Dwayne Sutter. Across it comes to Goring on left wing. Goring with Dwayne Sutter. Sutter races into the corner to pick it up. Fired one. It was blocked by Stevens. Gustafson back of the net. Stripped of the puck. Goring out to Gillies, and he couldn't make it lie down. And the Caps get a break. Gustafson feeds Christian. Christian across the line. Gustafson goes in after it. Kent Gustafson. Morrow bumped in. Gustafson one-handed it toward the net. Steered aside by Smith. Stevens had the stick knocked out of his hands. He kicks the puck to the corner, and there's Morrow. Gustafson leans into the Islander defenseman. The puck loose for Gartner. Comes off the boards, makes the play to Stevens. Outside the line, he pushed it back in over the line. Offside is called. Now 7 minutes, 13 seconds left in regulation time. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Islanders lead the Caps 3-2.
This buzz for everyone who's getting the 1984 Olympic Games ready for the world. To everyone who's working hard for America's Olympic effort, for all you do, this buzz for you.
There's the shots on goal, 20 by each team in a torrid third period here that's seen Washington come within one of the Islanders. It's now 3-2.
Brent Sutter clears the puck into center ice. The Caps in the period out shooting the Islanders 8-2, outscoring them 2-0. Flatley has dumped it into the corner to the right of Jensen, and Bloomquist hustles back. Around the boards, the Caps start out. They have Erickson, Carpenter, and Haworth as the forward line. Gilbert, Chase Carpenter the boards, and Flatley chopping at the puck has put it into the seats.
Checking gets a little closer, Jiggs. We see a little more of it now in the last couple of shifts in the center ice area. Both teams not wanting to give the other any kind of an opportunity, so things bog down generally in the center ice area, as we're seeing right now.
6 minutes, 45 seconds left in regulation time. Will we be back here on Friday night? Will the series go to the Nassau Coliseum with the Islanders up 3-1? We'll know eventually. On this face-off, the Caps get it back to Langway, to Murphy. Murphy with Helene and Nystrom both into forecheck. Now Langway plays it to the left side. Sampson being bothered by LaFontaine, and Jarvis gets it into the Islanders zone. That's cleared out by Persson. Langway had to wait, then was checked. Murphy comes back for it. LaFontaine chased him a little deeper. Pass across to Sampson. Stolen. Nystrom to LaFontaine. Couldn't knock it out of the air, and the Caps come up the right wing. Murphy's pass goes to Jarvis. Across to Sampson. Sampson and Lachlan over the line. In comes Jarvis. Doug Jarvis checked in the corner as Persson was down on the ice, and the puck was underneath him.
Do the Washington Capitals have enough left? They've spent a lot getting 2 goals, trying to close the gap on the Islanders, which they've done. Will they have enough left? Take a look. Bob Nystrom stole the puck away from Sampson as he passed it across. Pat LaFontaine trying to knock it down and get a swat at it, with Al Jensen moving across quickly in his goal crease, covering the ice.
Has been informed that the goaltenders in the game between Edmonton and Calgary will be Grant Fuhr for the Oilers and Don Edwards for Calgary tonight. Penny and Bouchard. Penny for Montreal, Bouchard for Quebec, Beaupre for Minnesota, and St. Louis with Mike Liut in goal tonight. You have the matchups in the other games. Trottier just knocked Murphy off the puck. Haworth moved up, and he gets checked by Janssen. Langway with an awful lot of ice time again tonight has dumped the puck into the Islanders zone. Morrow with it up the left side. Off Caller, held in. Jarvis fired one wide of Smith. Ends up back of the net. Gartner unable to put it out in front. He and Morrow in a battle for it. Murphy came in to pick up the puck. Harry Murphy to Jarvis. Centered one in front. Oh, Smith makes the save off Haworth and holds on.
Billy Smith does it again. A good opportunity. Murphy gambling as he goes in deep into the Islanders' end. Gets the puck. Give it to Jarvis at the point, who was covering for him. Jarvis shot the puck over to Haworth. Let's take a look. There's the pass. There's the play by Jarvis. Haworth changed the direction, and Billy Smith had outguessed him and ends up with the puck. Good play by Jarvis. And Haworth did not get much on that shot. What he wanted to do is rip it at the net with a lot more velocity. But with the puck moving at an angle toward him, very difficult shot to make. Billy Smith knew it. He was down and got a hold of it.
At this moment, all of the playoff games, 3-2. Montreal leading Quebec. Minnesota leading St. Louis. The Islanders leading Washington. The other game, I said all of them, all that are underway at this moment. The Islanders just got a break in their own end, and Gilbert has shot at the length of the ice. Wide of the net, Blomqvist touches up. Icing called with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left. You're watching the Patrick Division Finals Stanley Cup Playoffs on WOR TV.
Canon is proud to be the official 35mm camera of the 1984 Olympics. Like gold medalist Adrian Dantley, it takes a special kind to perform at this level. Here, the Canon AE1 program performs with its special shutter priority system. So its first priority is to stop motion.
And it's as easy for me to shoot as a basketball.
Canon's AE1 program, so advanced, yet simple.
Caps lining up with every man inside the Islander blue line. There is Billy Smith. He has faced 21 shots tonight. For the Caps, Carpenter, Lachlan, and Duchesne. They have Blomqvist and Stevens on defense. Trottier will take the face-off for the New York Islanders. Won the draw back to Gord Lane. Lane playing in place of the injured Dave Langevin. Couldn't get it out. Stevens shot flagged out of the air by Smith. Got it to Gilbert. And he's dumped it to center ice. Scott Stevens forcing the Islanders to chase it. Brian Trottier around to Potvin. Potvin up to Gilbert off his stick. Off the glass as well. And Duchesne recovers at the Washington blue line. Duchesne played it into the Islanders' zone. Potvin moving up. Gave it to Flatley. Now to Potvin. Shot it in around behind the net. Jensen left it for Blomqvist. 4.5 minutes to play. Blomqvist to Carpenter. He's over center ice. Carpenter into the Islanders' zone. Trying to go around Potvin. A low shot steered aside by Smith. Brent Sutter races up. Flatley got there first. Fed it to Sutter. 1-on-1 with Langway. Brent Sutter cuts around Langway to the right. Fired one. Stick saved by Jensen. The puck went to the corner for Lachlan. Now to Duchesne. Gaetan Duchesne waits at center. Fed it to Anderson, and he just dumps it in. Boudelier coming back. Smith left it behind the net. Boudelier went to left wing with a pass to Gillies. He lofts it high in the air, and Langway picks it up at the Washington blue line. Goring is forechecking. Langway failed to, well, he did get it outside the line. It came off Dwayne Sutter. Now back to Boudelier. To Persson. To Boudelier. Long pass to Dwayne Sutter. Gillies comes in on left wing. Sutter holding on to it. Centered it in front. Gillies shoots. He scores! Gillies, his second of the night, and a happy two-step. Gillies doing the Texas two-step as he comes away from the goal post, and the Islanders lead 4-2.
He's a hard man to cover, Jiggs, but he should have been covered much closer. The Washington Capitals, again, a glaring error, but a good play by Gillies. One, to get himself into the right position, and two, to put the pass in as it came across from Dwayne Sutter. What a play by Sutter. Anderson had a hold of Gillies, but not enough of him, and Gillies put the puck in behind Al Jensen. Good play by Sutter. Good finish by Clark Gillies. Look at the action. Mistake by the goaltender, too. No question, Jiggs. Jensen should have had a hold of that puck as it came across from Dwayne Sutter. He didn't make a move on it. Billy Smith, in that case, would have deflected that puck either up into the seats or off into the boards, into the corner.
Now 3.5 minutes to play, and the fans are headed for the exits. The Islanders up by 2, and here's Keller trying to make it 3 as he put it out in front. It hit Duchesne. Fed it to Francis Getty. He comes over center ice. Into the Islanders zone. Janssen lined him up, took him off the puck. Curry goes in after it. There's Morrow back of the net. Curry gets tied up. Duchesne dug it loose. Unable to center it. Now Morrow up the right wing to Bossy, and he has dumped it down into the Washington zone. No icing. Jensen came out. Murphy was back in plenty of time. Over to Stevens. Scott Stevens forces the Islanders to go back. Stevens bringing the elbow up. Drew the attention of the Islander bench. Janssen with the puck. His pass to Flatley. Relayed it around Stevens into the center ice zone. Brent Sutter moves up. Knocked it away from Blomqvist. Sutter into the corner. Goes back to the net. Brent Sutter rolled it out in front. It was cleared at the defense. Christian sends Gartner up right wing. Gartner over the Islander blue line. Drop pass. Christian in deep. Too deep to make the play, and Potvin has the puck. Shot it off the boards into center ice. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. Timo Blomqvist twisting and turning. Shot it in wide of Bill Smith. Well, it was on target as it turned out. Persson to the left side. Potvin up to Clark Gillies. It's intercepted. Gartner shot grabbed by Smith, and he'll hold it for a face-off. What a night for Paul Boudelier. He gets an assist on that goal by Gillies. He has a goal of his own and 2 assists in this hockey game.
Quite a fine game, too, Jakes. Not only the fact that he got the goal and 2 assists, but in his own end of the ice. Many times came up with the puck, brought it out or shot it out of the Islanders' end of the ice, depending on what the situation needed. Clark Gillies raises his right arm. The puck is in behind Al Jensen, who replaced Pat Riggin for the 3rd period here. Riggin may have hurt himself late in the 2nd period, but Clark Gillies, he had a 5-game scoring streak going. That was interrupted last night, but he's right back on track here tonight.
And only 12 goals over the regular season. He's had 4 in the playoffs. The Islanders playing their 9th game. And they're up 4-2 as we come down into the last 2 minutes of regulation time. Remember, the Caps scored 2 goals 34 seconds apart early in this 3rd period. They're on the ropes here. Erickson starts out of his own zone into the Islander territory. Haworth heads for the net. Erickson can't get the puck to him, and when he did, Johnson had taken him down. Wayne Sutter fires it out into center ice. Christian back over to Langway. To Erickson, relayed it between the Islander defense, and Smith is out of the net. Bill Smith around the boards for Gillies on left wing. Mark Gillies had a shot knocked out of the air. Now Jensen heads for the Washington bench as the puck is dumped in. Thomas Johnson trying to get it out of there. Gustafson forechecking. Murphy in to pick up the puck. Larry Murphy in front to Gustafson, and he was checked by Morrow on a fine defensive play. Here's Bossy with a break, an empty net, and he scores! Bossy into an empty net makes it 5-2. So the Islanders will go home leading the series 3-1 with an opportunity to wrap it up on home ice on Thursday night. Mike Bossy with his 4th playoff goal. It comes at 19:01. I said Thursday. Let me correct that. It is Wednesday night. Wednesday night at the Nassau Coliseum.
Mike Bossy, assist to number 19, Brian Trottier. Time to goal,
Brian Trottier getting the puck to Bossy for the empty net goal.
Mike Bossy with an assist to number 19, Brian Trottier at 19:01.
So with 59 seconds remaining, the Islanders have a 3-goal lead over the Capitals and a 3-1 lead in this best-of-7 Patrick Division final. The winner of this series meets the winner of the series between Montreal and Quebec for the right to represent the Prince of Wales Conference in the Stanley Cup final. Montreal leading in the series 2-1, leading in tonight's game at our last report by a score of 3-2. The Islanders have just iced the puck. Montreal, if they hold on at home tonight, will go back to Quebec with an opportunity to win that series on Wednesday night. Minnesota trailing 2-1 in their series with St. Louis. We're leading in the hockey game tonight in the second period. We're leading by a goal, 3-2. Edmonton and Calgary later start. Well, only a handful of this crowd of 18,130 left in the building. The Islanders will return home immediately following the game. I think that some of them will get a well-deserved rest tomorrow. And our prayers and our thoughts, obviously, with Dennis Potvin and his family on the loss of a father today, the passing of Armand Potvin. Puck tied up on the boards to the right of Bill Smith. Eddie and I talked earlier tonight about the adversity that the Islanders have faced at the end of the season. The passing of Dave Langevin's father. He attended the funeral and was back in time for the first game against the Rangers. Some injuries now to Bob Bourne, John Tonelli, and the shoulder injury suffered by Langevin last night. The Islanders come together as a team, as a family, really, and pull for one another. Here's Gilbert with the puck to Trottier, off his stick. It's picked up by Anderson. He comes to center ice with 5 seconds left. Shot it in around the board. Smith lets it go to the corner, and this game is history. It belongs to the New York Islanders with a 5-2 win over the Washington Capitals, and they lead the series 3-1. You see the high five, the congratulations for Bill Smith. He was outstanding again tonight early in the game, and the Islanders couldn't seem to get the momentum rolling. He kept the Washington Capitals off the scoreboard with some brilliant saves, and then his team built a 3-0 lead. The Caps came back, cut it to 3-1, and in the third period, leading only 3-2, they get a big goal from Clark Gillies and another from Mike Bossy into an empty net, and our final score is the New York Islanders 5, the Washington Capitals 2, and there's Clark Gillies with the icing on the cake right there. That made it 4-2, and then Bossy's goal iced it at 5-2. The Islanders have defeated the Caps 5-2. We'll be back with a recap and our Budweiser Star of the Game selection, but first we pause for these messages.
America's seen a lot of foreign cars lately. These boys rode into town with a lot to offer. But American know-how never lost a battle yet, believe you me. And when your Buick dealer gives you a price, you can believe that too. Take the '84 Buick Skyhawk. It's only 8807, equipped the way a Buick ought to be. So these boys ain't got the whole field to themselves no more. If you price a Buick, you'll buy a Buick. It's a great American car.
This Bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Each year, people spend millions of dollars to ship pounds and pounds of air. That's because they're charged for a 2-pound envelope, even though they're only sending 1 pound. Isn't there a better way? Introducing the new Emery 1-pound urgent pouch. Stop paying 50% more than you have to. Call Emery, the air delivery service that charges you for the delivery, not the air.
The final score is the New York Islanders 5, the Washington Capitals 2. Shots on goal in the third period by Washington 12 and a game total of 24. And again tonight, as in all 3 previous games, they outshoot the New York Islanders. The Islanders had 5 shots in the third period, a game total of 23. But the Islanders win it 5-2. They led 3-0 going to the third period. That's when Bobby Carpenter scored his first playoff goal. Assist to Anderson and Lachlan at 5:05. It came just after Trottier had finished serving a tripping penalty. And then 34 seconds later, Dave Christian capped off a great play by Gustafson, and even better play by goaltender Billy Smith to rob him on both the original shot and an attempt at the rebound. But Christian, with Smith down, put it into the top of the net, and it was very tight. 5:39, the time of Christian's goal. It was a 3-2 hockey game. Stayed that way despite an Islander power play on which they were able to score. It was still 3-2, and at 16:18, as we finished up the game coverage, you saw Clark Gillies getting his 4th goal of the playoffs from Dwayne Sutter and Paul Boudelier at 16:18. And then Bossy from Trottier into an empty net at 19:01. And the Islanders lead the series 3-1. Our Budweiser star of the game tonight goes to Paul Boudelier. Young defenseman who wears number 4 is our Budweiser star. He's with Eddie Westfall right now. Let's join them.
Thank you, Jiggs. I do have the star of the game, my Budweiser star of the game, Paul Boudelier. Paul, you must be a very happy young man.
Yeah, you know, it's just great to go out here and win a game like that, and it's a big game going back to New York, and hopefully we can finish it off and get a little break, because the guys are, you know, it takes its toll there, the 5 games against the Rangers, and it sure is nice.
You did some things during the hockey game now. I've seen you get the puck before in your own end of the ice and pass it to other players, but you seem to be carrying it with a little more freedom, and you started to make some plays that normally you might not make. You feel playing with a little more confidence now than you were before?
Well, really, you know, I came up, and you have to take it a step at a time. You just don't try to do all those things. And I just kept edging along until I knew where I could go and knew which players I could move on. And, you know, it's coming along, and I'm getting more knowledge of the game now, and Al's been helping me a lot. So it's piece by piece I've been getting there.
Outside of the whole game, Paul, was there any particular point during the hockey game that you were more concerned with the Washington Capitals than at any other time?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I think when they got their 2 goals, and they definitely made us stand there at the end, we got a little worried, but you know, it's an amazing team. We kept our composure out there, and a lot of teams wouldn't. And, you know, you got to hand it to the guys, and you got to hand it to Billy. He just hung right in there and took it right to the end.
Is that the reason that Al Arbor called a timeout around that same time, so that he could give you guys a little bit of a room to breathe?
I sure would imagine so, because it got fairly hot, and especially when you're on the road with all the fans and that. So it was a good move.
It's a hard-hitting series. You said it was taking its toll. Is that unusual for Washington to be playing the Islanders that tough? Are you surprised by the way they're playing?
I think, you know, you get a couple of teams out there. We're not all that high scoring throughout the year, and you know, there's a lot of clutch and grab and you know, hard checking. But I guess that's playoff hockey. This is my first chance at it, and I better get used to it.
Seems to me that you're going to get a lot of ice time with the way the injuries are going. Is that something that you've been looking forward to?
Yeah, I've been just waiting on, if I get more ice time, I'll work hard and try my best. That's all I can do.
You get a lot of practice time?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Congratulations again, Paul Boudelier. It's a great game for you, and I'm sure that we're going to see a lot more of you.
Thanks very much, Eddie.
Let's take a look before I let you go, Paul. We've got your goal if you want to take a look down at the monitor. There's the shot. Did you know it was in at this point? Bob Nystrom standing by?
I thought it went in, you know, because Bobby and Pat put their arms up, and, you know, I thought it drifted over his pad and into the net, and then he pulled it back out. So, you know, then after they waved it off, I was a little unsure, and I said, oh, well, and, you know, I saw the light on, so it was a good feeling.
You shot the puck pretty good tonight. Yeah, a couple of times in the first period. You got the puck through low and hard. Brian Trottier took a goal away from you.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't mind after I got the first one. I said, you know, at least I got another one, so that was okay.
Did you joke with him about it?
Oh, yeah, we have a good time. He's a good guy.
Congratulations again, Paul Boudelier.
Thanks very much, Eddie.
Let's go back up to you now, Jiggs.
Thank you, Eddie. Paul Boudelier is our Budweiser star of the game tonight with a goal and 2 assists. And on the playoffs, he's played in every game, now with a goal and 3 assists overall. But our congratulations to Paul Boudelier, and he'll receive from Asta Sport a collection of their fabulous reversible fashion fleece coordinates. The original reversible fleece outfits in the United States, Asta Sport coordinates in 15 colors, and they're available at selected Macy's and Bamberger stores. You'll enjoy them. So the Islanders defeat the Washington Capitals 5-2. They had lost the opening game of the series, came back to win the second in overtime, and came into the Washington area, to the Capitol Center in particular, with some injured players, then lost Dave Langevin in the game last night, come right back here tonight and defeat the Capitals and have taken a 3-1 lead in the series that will resume at the Nassau Coliseum on Wednesday night. The Islanders with an opportunity now to win it on home ice. If they do not win on Wednesday, then game number 6 in the series would be here on Friday night, and we would have it for you on WOR TV. Don't forget, tomorrow afternoon, baseball action. The Mets in their home opener at Shea Stadium against the Montreal Expos. Game time is 1:30 on WOR. Again, the final score, the New York Islanders 5, the Washington Capitals 2. Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders hockey has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers and proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By the Bank of New York, the bank New Yorkers call their own. Datsun Nissan, builders of high mileage, high quality cars and trucks for 50 years. Available at your Datsun dealer. By Eastern Airlines, they have to earn their wings every day. This game has been brought to you by just golfs it down into the Islanders zone. He's a little upset. 1 minute and 45 seconds, all that's left in regulation time, and then there's only a goal separating the Islanders and the Capitals. Ryan Murray, what a job he has done with this Washington team. Improvement each year.
Timeout signal by the coach, Ryan Murray. Wants to gather the troops, make sure they know exactly what's to happen in their efforts, of course, to get Pat Riggin out of the net, get the extra skater on. Down to 1 minute and 45 seconds.